Hey guys, welcome to The Close, the St. Paddy's Day edition of The Close. Couple hours left in the trading session. What a positive day we got going here. Right back to session highs for all three U.S. equity markets. We'll show you the big board here and have a look at where we stand as far as the overall market is concerned. A highlight right off the bat here, energy stocks, really nice move. Back to the upside. Crude obviously up about 8% on the day. There's DVN leading the way, 7.3% for Oxy, Apache, MRO. They are all here. There's Twitter. There was some rumors floating around of a podcast feature coming to Twitter. So 6% there for Twitter, 4% for Netflix, up as well in its own headlines today. The materials sector nicely positive so far in the session. Consumer discretionary stocks were weak to start the day off, but nice rally back. CCL still standing out there. Remember, NCLH had an upgrade today and was positive to start. Look at the industrial sector here, all in positive territory. Healthcare stocks as well. Tech stocks trying. We'll talk about a few of these coming up, but HPQ standing out. SEDG and AMD. Yeah, AMD 3.5% offsetting. Otherwise, pretty positive performance for the overall market. Get a check of the overall NASDAQ here. Before we jump into the rest of the afternoon. There we go. PDD, JD.com, the Chinese weakness back in effect here today after that impressive rally. There's Baidu down 4%. I mean, I say weakness, but they are holding most of the gains we saw from yesterday. So there's that. Software names, all very positive. There's AMD again. We'll talk about the chips coming up. But let's get into a pretty exciting afternoon shaping up here. Hope your St. Paddy's Day trading session is going very well. If you're joining us for the first time in the afternoon, we spent some time to start things off looking at some of the opportunities we were talking about in the pre-market. Join us every day, guys, at 8:30. We get it going. An hour in the pre-market, get you set for the open, talk about what is to come as far as opportunities are concerned. We're going to go back now and revisit a few of those, starting with Neil, who is going to talk about a stock doing all kinds of volume today. Here comes Neil.
Thank you very much. It's going to be Mullen Automotive. You can't get away from it. It's been doing all the volume, all the momentum. Everyone wants to talk about this stock. And this is going to be a lesson in if you can't beat them, sometimes you have to join them. A lot of times for these big time movers, I'm looking to fade small cap moves. A lot of those fades off the high of the day, shorting in front of the top. But Mullen's super strong, so we had to play it in both directions. We could talk about some of the bigger moves, but I love what we get to learn here about Mullen. Now, first things first, hey, when in doubt, we zoom out. So I'm going to show you the 15-minute chart. Really what's going to stand out here is they had a big time gap up before this on the daily. Now, keep in mind it had already pulled back. It's when it took its second move. This is now the second time through for Mullen through that dollar. It manages to hold here a very strong $1.50 bottom. And then it had this level in here just above your $2 range where you had a nice little window of a pullback. So that's sort of the area that I was working with in the pre-market. Always going to want first the pop and fade idea. So the first thing I'm going to try to do is you get the pop into the open, into that 210 area, and then the fade in. It immediately takes out the top. And I said this in the pre-market. Because of that firm level at 150 and the fact that it had such a good base for a potential breakout, pretty much every key level I was shorting off of was a reversal. And this is one thing I was trying to do better this year. If it's a key level, if there is a bullish trend, I still like the pullback setups. I'm going to put them on. But you have to be able to take some of these breaks. We're able to get the reversal here. You'll see it doesn't really get any further than this 230 to 240 area. So we end up grabbing it out, and then you see it consolidate back in. At that point, I'm just waiting for the move. It probably could have been a reload to the long side, but I'm really starting to think about, okay, well, what comes after that break? We stalled out at 37. There's nothing in terms of resistance. So all I'm thinking about is $2.50, $3. It's even numbers. Psychological, big size on the offer, that's all I care about. So once we make the move into $2.50, sorry, $3 might come later, it's into $2.50, we see it break to the upside, we actually grab the short in front, it then tries to break, it's to 51, 52, snaps back down, we get some more shares, and then you're into your retracement trade. Now, a lot of times when you're doing a stock which has this kind of upward pressure, You're going to want to think about reloading that 250. But if you're going to do this, you've got to still have the tight stop. I really didn't need to get back in at 48 there just to give up 2 or 3 cents. But I did put the reversal trade on. It was not the home run that I was expecting. But again, you take your short, it pulls back, you make the reversal. I'm thinking it should go to 75, and I want to be all out somewhere before $3, but it just couldn't get there. Now, we end up getting wicked out when it pulls back below 250. Once it had extended past 65, I had a break-even stop on it. And now I'll just sit back and relax. The way that I would approach it for the rest of the day is either we're retesting support at 230. If you can consolidate at 250, maybe there's a scalp in there for you. I'm not a huge fan. Otherwise, $3. So all about patience, being able to flip into the other direction. You can still want that counter trend trade, but you've got to have an out. And sometimes you've got to be willing to flip long when the momentum is this strong. And it has been in Mullen. So we can all learn something about playing it in both directions and getting out of your comfort zone to play the trend.
Got to go where the action is today. That was in MULN. 300 million shares traded so far for Mullen. There was that Yahoo Finance story for Mullen today. So a couple of days back, we talked about some other positive press they got. Yahoo Finance or Yahoo Finance Live, I guess it's called, did a segment on Mullen apparently. So a little bit of a boost off of that. Anyways. That is the link, guys, for the watch list. We had that on the watch list this morning. If you do need absolutely free resource every single day, we send that out in the pre-market. Mullen on that list, as I said this morning. A couple things I'm just keeping an eye on here. Oil basically back to day highs or thereabout with half an hour to go in the session for oil. Almost 8% for crude. I want to mention Lucid as well, because Lucid did pop up on a bit of a downtick there. We're going to talk about some of those coming up as well. But here's the note on energy stocks to kick things off. The International Energy Agency warning this morning in the pre-market of a shortfall because of the Russian situation coming up next month. So we won't really see the effect, according to them, until next month. So that kind of kicked off the rally in oil this morning. And then this was just a couple of moments ago. The CEO of Lucid giving an interview to Reuters saying they're also going to investigate price increases for the future or for future models, saying it's inevitable with inflation. So not just Rivian talking price increases and Tesla, obviously, with a couple of price hikes, even Lucid getting in on that game. But anyways, hope your afternoon is going well, guys. Couple of angles to look at to start things off.
Go Michigan. No, just.
Oh, you can barely see this thing on my head.
You got to just do this. Just hunch really badly.
Yeah, you know what? I was going to do that, but I already tweeted out that it was going to be on my man over here. So now that you can't really see it. I mean, the thing is, I lost the bet. Like Brendan chose the necklace, you got the necklace, and I was like, okay, I'll just wear this. But yeah, it's going to annoy me throughout the show, so we just want to start it with that. And especially now you can't even see it, I'm going to throw it on our bull here. So we'll do that. Yeah, what's up? You can see it right here. But yep, it's fun days as well. Before I do that, just because we're talking about Lucid here, let's talk about Rivian just quickly. We did short this name, and it was my best. Profit-wise, yes, my number one stock today is still Rivian. Again, we didn't take out as much profit as we should have. We were waiting for it to go all the way, I don't know how much lower, but it went all the way to 38 off of a 42.50 short. So we were $4 in the money on that one, and we got out. At the time, it was I don't know if it was a 50 period break. We could have saved ourselves about 50 cents, but we just waited for $40 and we got out of the way. So as soon as $40 came, we took that 260, put that in our pocket, and we really haven't done anything since. This Lucid news is pretty interesting. We've switched over to a long on Affirm, and we're long on Facebook right now as well. We tried to short. We actually, on Prad's show, we'll talk about, is Facebook on that board? No. So yeah, we shorted into here. It was a good short, good outs. Short, the last time we went short was right there. We got out, and then once it broke the day's high, we reversed into a long. So right now we are long in Facebook, up that 27 cents. So yeah, I think Lucid's definitely worth looking at it. I know you have the chart up right now.
Yeah, it's been like coin flipping on, not really coin flipping, but just one win, one loss for me on Lucid. I was probably a little bit early on the first one, and it's been a lot of names have made this run. The pop and fade I missed at the open, so like maybe the best little rollover was missed, and we stop out. We catch the top just at 10 o'clock. We play it to VWAP. Then it looks like we're about to get the same trade going there again for a small win, and then we stop out twice with tight stops. Both at 24.40, which is a double top, and then 24.75. At this point, I'm not going to be fighting this one. The only position I'm in right now, and this is the name that we were talking about this before we came on, like. Everything is coming back and breaking out, right? Like AMD was a dip buy for me this morning, and it looked pretty good. As a matter of fact, like if I made a mistake on AMD this morning, it was that I didn't hold on to the long enough, and yet here we are down 4%, and I'm not sure, like maybe I'm missing something. But you know what? I'm playing with the trend here going short, because if there's something to be shorted, AMD couldn't get past VWAP. When the NASDAQ went green and went up 1%, we're close to the 4,400 mark. Close enough to the 4,400 mark in the ES, and AMD's all kinds of weakness. Like, now you look at NVIDIA, which got, I don't know if it still is. Yeah, it still is. It got green. It's still holding in positive territory. Even Intel's up. Like, it's just everything across the board in the space, it got back to green. It was holding above VWAP, and then relative weakness in AMD. So if I'm going to hold a short, that makes more sense to me. So I was just asked about Snapchat for a fade trade. I'm going to be really particular about the fades. There we go. Really particular about any fades. Not with the haircut, because I'll do that anytime. But Snapchat. Come on, load. There we go. Look, I see your level on the 15-minute chart, and you're probably talking about 34.45 or 25 or so. But what I would be more interested in is first test, like let it go a little more parabolic. Let it get to what was the floor here at 35 even, give you a nice round number as well. And it's almost like let it extend a little bit further. That's what I would be looking for here. Like it's a really strong market. If you catch the turn dead on, fair enough. But the whole like fade into the level, give it a range. I'll do that with something relatively weak. These names that have been beaten up are trying to break out here, and I get it. If it hasn't broken last week's high, it hasn't really truly broken out. Snapchat's in the pocket. But not there yet for me. We traded some Tesla today. By the way, that might actually hit that 885. I don't know if we're going to talk about Tesla too much, but what a strong day overall the market's doing. You got to be careful with your shorts. AMD, I'm just not sure what's going on. It's been weak, so I guess that's the thing to short.
We'll jump into a few of these. Just watching the market coming off here a little bit. Not seeing any reason for that, but lots of headlines anyways flowing through all day long today. Let's go back to the Chinese group here to kick things off as well, guys. I mean, monster moves yesterday for the entire group. We give back some of that today, but the bigger point, I mean, a lot of these still holding the top end of the range from that huge move up yesterday. And I mean, look at this BOBA right back above 100 again.
Yeah.
What?
We'll talk about the Chinese names. Alibaba, sort of back and forth. So anyways, I made a message to Brendan this morning, and I was like, I thought Pinduoduo was the most extreme and was your best. Like, it gapped up too far. This was your shorting opportunity. I'm not complaining about Pinduoduo, first of all. Let me get that out of the way. But it went 22 to 44. I still don't have a portion of this day. Anyways, but up to almost to $44. A double up in a couple of sessions. And you come in today with a chance at the pop and rollover trade off the pre-market levels when it's gapping down. Like, that's going to get put on every single time. And it goes right down into this 37 sort of support level where it broke out the day before. We also had this, I guess, absolute cliffhanger. So that was all well and good. But there was this BEKE. And, when you find names like this, and first of all, if you've never heard of them, a lot of times when these things go up a lot, and anecdotally you've never heard of the stock, when it comes down, it probably falls further than something you heard of. But that's just something I find. But this BEK, very, very similarly set up. $8 to $15, gives you the consolidation, and then it gives the floor break. The post-Fed floor break's about 1380, 1375, and this thing drops all the way into 1150. Like just a 20% fall. Like, don't get me wrong, like Pinduoduo might seem like it's the same trade, but it's a 10% move down versus a 20% move down on BEKE. So, a lot of times these smaller float names are just going to have a little bit more juice to them when you get these big retracements. So, this is definitely a missed opportunity. PDD definitely worked to the downside. I like Pinduoduo. It's something we like to get into right at the beginning of the day. But man, and it's not like I didn't know about BEKE. We were trading this one in the last few sessions, so it's certainly a name that was even on our watch list at one point. It might have been on the watch list yesterday, as a matter of fact. I'm almost certain that it was on the watch list yesterday. So this should have been a name that was on my radar. Instead, we trade Pinduoduo, but that 20% is better than 10 every time I check.
Okay, so we actually, on our sticky note, we have Alibaba penged to the bottom of the whole day there at 96 bucks. It's on there. We talked about it right into here. And you can look up for yourself. Oh, no, it's actually, we tweeted it out. It's down here somewhere about our response to Alibaba, the 96 level. That held pretty nicely. You're seeing Alibaba up. We also talked about NIO as well today, and that we wanted that short through 18. We have two shorts back to back here, one there, boom, and another one here. And we got out because it didn't. It kept resisting. So we're actually out of NIO right now, but I like that short. A couple shorts back to back. Alibaba, we actually got taken out on the show. You guys remember that right there. Or actually, just as the show ended at 11 o'clock. But there's that 96 bottom. I just thought it was going to break. And look what's happened since, man. Back up to 101. So, wow, we just gave up $5 there by getting out. We tried some in and outs here, but that didn't work. Was a good long early. So, Baba, it's a positive name, but we're going to wait to see. Actually, no, it's not a positive name. We're going to have to wait to short maybe into here. But I don't know. I asked the question in the chat. Like, do we think the market's going higher or lower from here? Like, this is already a pretty sweet move back up, and now we're battling around 14,000. So the question is, do we hold 14,000, I guess? And let's just wait to see. I just went short. I sort of changed up my mind there. We shorted Facebook now. So we were long, we got out. We didn't get out at the top. Now I'm going to short Facebook into this. So if Facebook takes out 206.50, we're gone. But we're short right now, 205.87. So out of the money right now, 20 cents on, or less than that, on Facebook. Oh, Brad, did you reheat that butter chicken? That smells pretty good over there right now. It might taste good with the Guinness that we're going to be throwing down very soon. But Miss V over on the big desk.
That's right, Sean. I've got 4 super chats at once from Isa Mohammed to make them number of 7, which is my favorite. Thank you so much, Isa. Absolutely love it. I hope you're having a beautiful, positive day. And thank you for your support so much. Love you back. And guys, if you love the show and our community, please smash the like button. And now let's go to Brendan.
Let's continue along. Longeveron. LGVN just popping up here on a volume spike, guys. One that can get going if it wants to. Just seeing a new patent filed for the treatment of Alzheimer's disease. So another one in that category to keep an eye on. LGVN on a huge volume spike. Let's continue with, we talked about Lucid. We talked about Tesla as well, having a decent day in the EV space. But let's talk oil, shall we? Because it's been quite the day for all things oil. Back to, as I was saying, almost session highs here, guys, above 8% right now for crude, with under 15 minutes to go now in the session for crude. So oil stocks, all the rage again.
But the only thing that for me, I guess I don't know if we're doing frustrating stocks, so maybe we're not. So I'll talk about 2 of them, because one of them was Chevron 161. And this morning I was like, okay, so you fade Chevron on strength and you buy Oxy on any kind of a dip. And if I say buy Oxy on the dip, just usually buy it at the open because you're not going to get the dip. But Chevron ends up giving that fade. It's just been relatively weak. And you sort of look at it here, it still can't even get above that 161 as I'm watching here. We're about to get crude oil futures closing. Volume ticks down into 230, and then once they get closed, a lot of times you might have that volume drop off, and if something hasn't broken out, we can fade off. That's CVX, but man, Occidental, it's just a rocket ship, and it's still on the New York. Last I checked, I can get it wrong a million times, but it just absolutely rockets. You can't stop this stupid thing. And I keep wanting to get that by the dip, because I look at some of the moves that happen, like these monster ones where you get the big runs, and it gives you that little dip into the open, testing or breaking the pre-market low, and then just absolutely taking off, like it did it here again a couple of times in the last week. And then today there was nothing. Like this is a half an hour before the market opens up. By the time you get to 9:30, forget about the dip. It's just grip and rip, and we take out 56, and there was no chance for me to get into it. So unfortunately, you know, the thesis of what's relatively strong and weak only takes you so far. Like, you got to be able to get into these names. And I don't know what's going to stop Oxy, because remember that one day where like oil just absolutely tanked and like Oxy refused to go down?
I remember that day.
So oil goes up, Oxy goes up, oil goes down, Oxy goes up, and what are you going to do? Like, this stock has been pretty bullish. I'm not saying it never pulls back. I'm just being sort of joking about it. I was short Chevron on that same day, and it didn't work out either. But this has been an unbelievable run to the upside. And like, I would not argue with anybody that looked at this chart and said to themselves, okay, I'm going to be trimming some profit off. Because, you know, I talked about in Chevron very, very similarly, when you get that big wick top, like usually I sell some the next day almost every single time if I'm holding something in the long term. And I get it. It'd be tempting to get out of Occidental. If you haven't rang the register here, like, let's not forget that this stock was just, you know, sort of going sideways in the middle of February at 39 and then has gone absolutely parabolic since, giving you 50%. That's an unreal return, and you're really only seeing that in the oil space unless you caught the absolute bottoms of some of the tech names. With this, you were buying breakouts, and oil, I don't think it's done. The uncertainty's still there. There was demand and supply issues when it comes to oil, regardless of the conflict. Like, this was coming. We're approaching that $100 a barrel. People were talking about that before we even had the conflict. So that's why some of these prices might start to hold up. But man, I think you just have to think about where you want to be ringing the register on some of these names. But Oxy, what a beast.
Yeah, I remember I've kind of gone away from trading Oxy a little bit because of that day, but I did want to give just a big thank you. I'll do a little bit of a face slap right here because I just wanted to thank everybody. We just hit 30,000 followers right there on my Twitter account, so thank you so much to everybody for your continued support. We just put a tweet out there, already 19 likes, 5 comments. Thank you so much, guys. 30,000, and remember, we talk about this all the time. See, here's someone DMing. Like, I get these DMs and I respond to them, guys. So if you can hit me up, do that. But oh crap, we just went long Neil. That's a mistake. But anyways, at Trader TV Sean, not Shan, not 2 N's, not 2 W's, not 2 T's, as it is, the one and only, the original. Thank you for the support, guys. Okay, so we just got into Neil. We might as well get out of that. That was just a bid that we had to break out in case it started to go. And we don't really want this trade, so we'll just get out of Neil right now if we can at that high side. The trade that I'm really not concerned about, but the trade that I'm focusing on here is going to be Facebook. We saw Facebook yesterday make those moves upside. We had some great, I mean, yesterday Facebook was so much fire, man. We had these longs and just ripped it into the close, but look at that level, 205, right? That's kind of what I'm trying to play off right now, except for it's this 206.50. We've already broken out. I already danced with the devil here at 205, and it worked. I mean, we made money until we got taken out to the upside. Now I just think, like I said, I feel like we at least test 14,000 again on the NQ. If we can get down to there, then obviously Facebook, here we go right now, then obviously Facebook will fall. There it is. We take our first, yes. All right, man. It's almost barbecue season, by the way, Neil. That should be good. Today is. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, today is. Today gives us that thought, the good warm feels. Oh, let me check what it is.
It's supposed to be 7.
Yeah, it's 11 right now, according to Google. So we'll see Google weather there. 11, but you know what? It was supposed to get really warm at 5 for some reason. So 5 o'clock. I'm just really excited about the daylight savings time stuff, to be honest with you. I think that's a fantastic new rule right here. Oh, crap. Just on the wires right now.
Don't say it.
Russia may be planning chemical weapon attack. This is from Blinken. I don't know who that is, but that's not good. So, okay. All right. So we are nicely in the money here on a firm. I'm going to get the heck out right now of all this and then just deal with these shorts right now. But into Facebook and long a firm. But maybe Brendan has more on that. I don't. I'm just repeating what I saw. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't even know who Blinken is, but.
He is the Secretary of State, if that is the same quote anyways. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on the market. On that note, not a huge move down at the moment, but yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Neil, you were talking about some of the chips a little bit earlier, but let's touch on a few of these because we mentioned this morning, you know, it would be kind of important to see whether or not they would hold up after a lot of them kind of led the way yesterday afternoon right into the close. I was just noticing Intel with a decent day here, 0.7. Micron as well. Apparently the Democrats in Washington were talking about some chip-related bills that were on the floor throughout the afternoon today. So they did get a little bit of a ramp up on that. just before we came on, but coming back here with the overall market, I guess, for chip stocks right now.
Look, I think part of the thesis for Intel, given what they're trying to accomplish with the turnaround, is the fact that chip production and fab in the U.S. is certainly a priority for the administration. Everyone starts talking about the chip shortage and whatnot, and Intel spending $20 billion for a plant in the States. I think that's gonna help them. Will they get some subsidies? Will they get some aid that'll benefit them? I tend to think usually that's going to be the case. Realistically, you're in this not because it's going to grow as much, but you think it can turn back into a growth stock in 2 to 5 years. Otherwise, it's just not going to be as weak on down days. Now, I'll juxtapose that with what I was trading today, and for the life of me, I'm not entirely sure why Global Foundries was as strong as it was. I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see it move in the last few sessions like it did. Made an all-time high up there at 75, 76. We talked about the morning show fading it. I got out of this thing, it got 75 change short. And I took the last out for a couple of dollars. It then dropped another $2. As it was doing that, the market was bouncing. So it was continuing higher and sort of resisting pulling back when the market had already fallen. And then when the market started leveling off, it just continued to fall. So I'm not even sure how much this wants to follow the market at this point. But the one that's sticking out to me, and if this trend continues, like what we're seeing today in AMD, down now 4.5%. I canceled my bid. I was going to get out in front of 110. This was a good dip buy earlier. It is completely counter trend at this point to the other chip names. They all went red to green last I checked. Maybe I'm missing a name, but I didn't really see anything that didn't. And AMD showing this weakness. If this continues and the market pulls back from here, then we're going to get a shot at AMD 100 again. And you guys know how good that level has been. But it's an odd one. I just cancel bids in front of 110 because if the market rolls over from here, part of canceling the bid had something to do with the headline Sean said as well, because you never know. This is the weak one, so I'm just going to stick with it to the south side. I'm not sure. Like maybe there's something we're missing about AMD in particular, but it's approaching that low of the day when nothing else seems to be. Like you look at NVIDIA, and we're barely red on the day. That's a stock that if we get a plunge back into the morning lows at 240, hey, that's reasonable to think about a dip buy if the futures hold up. But AMD is just a totally different ballgame right now.
Yeah, so we'll, I don't know what's going on with AMD there. We went short, but, on that report, but I don't know if that's going to go through or not, but hopefully, I hope, honestly, I hope the market falls because I'm short, but I hope it's not for chemical weapons or anything like that. U.S. Secretary of State Blinken says we will not hesitate to impose costs on China.
Well, that's what we need.
Man. That's not what we need for sure as we go there. So we'll see what that means now. But so there's not some nice headlines coming from this dude. So we'll see what he has to say here. But again, we'll wait to see. We don't get too much of this action up here in Canada. Our guys are too busy worried about other things, which seems like I think Trudeau got rejected from going into Russia or something. I don't know what's up with that.
He's banned.
Banned. Yeah, I think all those leaders are banned, right? So no drop there. 206.20. Just looking at Facebook, we're short now. We took already that 80 cents, but we did hit another short rate into there on that report, breaking back down through. So we just hit the short right away. And then as it didn't go, you could see we started to, you can't even see this, but we started to get out a lot here, 202, 203, 205 20s, so on and so forth. But now you're starting to go back up. I'm going to try one more time to short this just because I feel like this doesn't seem like very good news. So we can lose on this trade. I'm not sure we will, but I'm going to try to hold this not all the way back up here again, because if we make the move all the way back up, which we're kind of doing right now, obviously on more false reports probably. Blinken says Biden. Oh man, there's more stuff here, and I don't even know. But there it is. Ooh, we just missed our. Come on, we were at 79. It went to 77 right there before dropping all the way to 30s again. I'll just leave all the reporting to Brendan here because there's more stories coming through. Yeah. I just, quite frankly, can't read these fast enough. Something about China considering now assisting Russia.
I'm going to throw a trail on my AMD just to let it run a little bit more.
What? Yeah, I just got out.
It's so close to the low of the day. I'm going to throw a trail up here. Just if it breaks higher, we'll take it out. It's a VWAP retrace to the low of the day. If it breaks the low, fine. The market's maybe testing those 14,000. But at this point, if we break the low, that that's good for the trade, but it just feels like there's a little too much like back and forth here, and I don't want to get tripped up. It's a good VWAP to the low of the day, but it might end up being nothing more than just that. And a few names are really starting to turn around. Like, just want to go quickly to Affirm here before we move on. Like, I was sitting there saying I would wait for 37, then I didn't wait for 37. If you're watching Prad's show, you might have heard me say that. Then he mentioned it as well. It's a tight stop out here, but I decided to play it twice, so I doubled up and then got out at 36.25, and then it doesn't get to 37. And now you're seeing the rollover, so I should have been more patient with that name. Affirm up strong, like 8.5%. I saw someone in the chat saying Fintech not as strong today because I think SoFi and NU, that stock, not going. But look, a Square's up 10%, Affirm's up 8.5%. There's some fintech names that are going. It's the beaten up ones that are making some big runs, but not all of them.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you talked about trailing stop. We did the same thing on our profit spot there for Affirm. We had it. It wasn't really a trailing stop. It was just more of a stop breaking through the 50 period. And again, on that news there's no point of holding anything long, in my opinion, right now. I mean, look, it could change. There's news coming all over the place, but we'll get out of that Affirm trade. It is up that 9%. What a monster. We did switch over from longs to shorts on this. We were short initially, and then we took a last short there, was able to get a little bit out, and then that was the long take breaking through 36. Our best out 36.47. So this 36 long was pretty good. 25s, 30s, 47s, and then the last out there 25. So good trading on Affirm, but for right now I'm just holding Facebook, and I actually want to get short here. Shorter. So we just missed that by 2 pennies. We've changed it up. Now we're at 70 flat. So it'll just come up and fill us here at 70, hopefully right in between. And then I'm just going to, again, I don't want to use the high of the day as my out. But we may have to. Like, that's 206.20. That's 206.40. It's only 20 cents difference. Yeah, we'll probably use the high of the day as our out. So one average in coming up as we come into here. Then we'll take another position in here, 206.10 or something. And then we'll just take it right now. I didn't think the NASDAQ would be up today. You had a 3.3% move or so yesterday. We had a monster day on Tuesday as well. And then now today, I just figured we'd give some back, but we're not even close to giving any back. So let's see. I thought we would test 14,000. We came pretty close there. I'd rather test it technically than on those. Well, I don't really care how we test it, but I thought that we have one more retest down there. And maybe that's close enough, man. We got 15 points away. So let's just see what happens. We are going to get short more Facebook, and then I'll debate averaging in up here. But I think it's good short into the high of the day. So let's wait to see here what does happen with Facebook.
I'm not going to do this. Just look that ugly gift horse in the mouth. The trail out just got me out in AMD there. It's simple VWAP to the low of the day there, getting out in 3 stages. The trend is pretty clean, so if we haven't broken the highs and there's a chance to maybe come back to this when it gets to 111.50, it looks like, or VWAP, then I'll probably jump back. It's just so relatively weak. Now we're going to stick with that. But it feels like it made sense to take something out at those lows. I was looking for something to long off the bottom, but couldn't find it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a great out. That's a great trade. No?
Yeah, but okay. Trailing stop.
I know, you always want to hold it in case it flushes, but
my history with trailing stops is it always feels good and looks good in the moment, but usually, like my last trail out, doesn't historically end well. That's all. Brendo?
We're going to have a funny picture to show everyone here in a second, but before we do that, yeah, apparently Biden is scheduled to speak with President Xi tomorrow, I believe. So some of these comments from Blinken today, I think it's just the press briefing today. So Blinken making some comments ahead of this meeting that's supposed to happen tomorrow between Biden and Xi. But yeah, the market not liking this too much right now. Wanted to mention this one real quick, guys. Yang, that bear China ETF popped up on those headlines on decent volume. So keep that. Remember, that's a leveraged ETF though, so just be careful with that. We're going to talk about green stocks here coming up in a second. But before we do that, I wanted to show everyone. Actually, yeah, you know what? Let's do this first. Trader Prad was making a big deal about missing out on. You know what? Tell me about your green stocks. We're not going to do frustrating stocks today, guys. We're going to do green stocks in honor of St. Paddy's Day, obviously. So let's talk green stocks, and then I'll show you this picture.
Look, if Trader Prad was bitching about, I mean, I made that call. I was like, V, let's go. And then Trader Prad was there. I think we could do, obviously, another picture with him to send out. Oh, he doesn't want to do it anymore. Okay. Oh, we've got it. Okay, Brendan's got something special locked and loaded.
He's live on the show. There was not much.
I was debating just like pulling him off and then having someone else sit there.
I know, but
to do it during that. What's up, Mark? There it is. There it is. Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what it should be like. There's Trader Pratt. So he's part of the picture. What are you talking about, Pratt? You're part of that picture. That's the best he's ever looked.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that's the best he's ever looked right there. So
Yeah,
good job,
there
Trader
you go.
Pratt. Oh, okay. Maybe we can give the man a Guinness and he can drown his sorrows if there's a problem there.
I don't think he can handle one.
For Trader Pratt. But yeah, no, that's good. That was pretty funny. Thanks for that. Yeah, but that's such a nice picture. Thank you to everybody for liking it.
I have a legitimate question here. Look, we have the rundown up, and there's two ways you can play green stock. So,
Oh, green side. I didn't even think
so
of
does that mean we should review something that we're up on, or did you literally mean green stocks, and I should talk about like Plug Power or like Tesla? I don't go.
I think we just go
We
crazy.
can go either way, or you
Let's
can
go
talk wheat stocks. So but I'm going to talk about Tesla because that kind of fits both. I don't have a wheat stock that I traded today. I'm going to kick myself over Tesla for yesterday, but I won't literally kick myself. Today was a different story because we came in saying 855 was going to be the level. 800 came and went twice yesterday. We didn't get either one, I know. But 850, we got that retraced. And I'll tell you, the exact moment that Tesla got to that 850 level, 855 level, was precisely when the NASDAQ tested 14,000, like the NASDAQ futures tested 14,000 for the first time. Now, the only mistake I would say is the second time through, we should have been playing a breakout, like the pullback, holds, the pre-market high levels here, that's pretty bullish, and you could have played the break. I didn't do it. I actually tried, and this is almost flat, basically, off an 865 level. But really, the only mistake was not reversing this into a long. I guess it was like you, Sean. I didn't really believe that we were going to make a secondary breakout through those levels, and now we have. And after this in Tesla, look, we're talking that 885 in front of 900 area. And so that $5 range, 885 into 890, that's the next charge here for Tesla. It's on just a monster run into it. I think that's your big time resistance. Remember, this is just the beginning of March, right? Like, we're back to these levels, and we get there. I think that's where, if you're looking for any kind of reversal trade, or you're in a long and thinking about where it could stall out, that's what I'm kind of watching here, Tesla. Maybe we can get there today if things are strong enough.
My number one stock on the day is Rivian, so we can review that. I still always think Rivian's a forever short until it's not. And we hammered this today. It was a big trade to the downside. So my green stock of the day is going to be Rivian, just because of ESG. We're green on the stock as well, on the profit side of things. And look, I like my next car will be electric. I mean, I'm pretty sure about that. This has been really sick to the downside until, like I said, until we break above 50. I'm going to be looking every single day. Or is that 50? Yeah, that's 50 right here. But I'd like to, I guess it's 55. Like, I'd like to get above 50 and then retest some of these levels and just forget about the last couple weeks down there. I think that's the best play to do on Rivian, is just kind of wait. And I'm going to keep short until I see like a major upgrade from somebody come through, like a Goldman or a Morgan, or just more positivity on the EV space. I mean, we could talk about all of these names. You already did Lucid a little bit today, but that kind of looks the same. We had big highs on Lucid, and then they've just been coming back in, and I think the same kind of level for Lucid. I'd like to see a 30 break. So if we can get above 30 on Lucid, then I'm going to buy this name, honestly. I just want to get above here, clear a lot of this garbage out, and just like pretend that these dips didn't happen. And as an investor for a longer term, you can do that. Like, be patient. You can sit on cash. We've been talking about that. You don't always have to buy bottoms, because if you bought bottoms, then you may just continuously buy bottoms. So sometimes it's worth waiting for a little bit of a breakout. I believe that's the right play in the electric vehicle space. I believe in Tesla the strongest, for GM as longer term. But for getting in and out of Lucid, I'm going to take my first position in this name once we get above 30. I think I like Lucid a little bit more than Rivian. The Lucid Dream there already won that car of the year. They're talking about price increases and so on and so forth. We have to find out about their production schedule, but that's what I said. As soon as more upgrades and whatnot come through, then I think that we can play Lucid. Look, there's still 7 rate hikes, and none of these companies seem to be making money. So if that's going to be the case, cost of capital goes up, and they just become uninvestable until something changes, and that something might have to be profitability.
The live show, guys, you will see us trading in the pre-market before 9:30 every single morning. At least one or two positions will be on the board. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about what you need to know when it comes to executing trades in the pre-market, because it's a different game. There's a lot to understand about pre-market trading, guys.
If you're unaware of what that is going to be, regular market hours, market opens at 9:30 Eastern time in the U.S. and it closes at 4. So at 4 a.m. there is executed trading out of that time. Now, not every gateway is available, and not every broker is going to allow you to trade immediately at 4 o'clock. A lot of them are at 6, 7, and 8 o'clock in particular. Those are 3 big-time volume points, and there's not as much liquidity. So that's the first thing to get out of the way. At each one of those hour points, you will get more liquidity coming into the market, and then 8 till 9:30 is probably the bulk of the volume in that pre-market. So the reason why it's important is because often you'll have these names that maybe don't trade a lot. I'm just pulling up Sonic because a couple of days ago it had big-time pre-market volume, where it's doing absolutely nothing. Volume, non-existent. Movement, non-existent. And then you came in the next day and it was gapping to the upside with significant volume. I'm actually cutting it off at 9:30 to show you this is a name that had done over 1 million shares in the pre-market. And the key thing about wanting to trade there is liquidity. You want to see above average liquidity so that you don't have concerns getting in and out of your trade. In this particular case, when it had settled down, you were literally trading within a 1 or 2 cent spread on a penny stock there and providing tons and tons of liquidity. But the things that I would check off are, is it extra relative volume? Are you seeing those big spikes? You did have one at 7 o'clock. At 8 o'clock as well, even more volume started to come into it. They can give you a hint as to what is going to be hot for the rest of the day. And this was one after big time pre-market volume, managing to hold pre-market ranges, and then a runner late in the session when it had even more volume. And that's one of the things that you can glean. If it's got extra pre-market volume, it doesn't mean it's going to be a runner that day. But it does mean there's extra eyeballs on it, and it might be worthwhile to throw onto your watch list to trade. But check with your broker what the rules are pre-market. Sometimes you're not allowed to use market orders. You might only be able to put in limit orders. What time are you allowed to execute? What gateways do you have or not have available to you at that time? Very, very important information, because the last thing you want to do is get into a trade or try to get into a trade and then something goes wrong. So always check with your broker to see when you're allowed to trade. It's 4 to 9:30, but it doesn't mean that everybody gets to trade that entire time.
And you stole all mine, man. Liquidity, the timing, check with your broker. So let's just do the obvious stuff right now. How about just levels straight up? I mean, what you have to try to find out here when you're trading in the pre-market is really, I don't think it's a very wise idea unless you hit some of those keys, like Neil said. If it's pretty liquid, if you can withstand some of these moves here in the pre-market. And why I want to talk about Tesla today was because this is the pre-market high of 836. So this is all pre-market. I only start my charts, first of all, from 7 a.m. So I know there are gateways that start, and this maybe is a tip that you could use. I put my minute charts only back to 7 a.m. so you can see down here. So I don't really, like the trading that happens 4, 5, 6, sure there is trading there, but I've never really been able to find key levels or anything off that trading. It's just too random. Spreads, especially on Tesla, can be like $3, $4, $5, if not more at that time. So anyways, it's take this pre-market high right now. If there's a level you want to get into Tesla, like I'm going to zoom in right here just to show you what was going on in the open. Like this is pretty chaotic. It opens up. So this is opening up right here at 9:30. So it opens up at 8:31. It goes all the way down to 8:26, comes back up, and look where it stops. It basically stops right at this line, which is the pre-market high, then comes back down and then breaks it pretty clean. So that's basically all that I have to say is why not use some of these pre-market levels. If you want to go long, wait until it settles down a little bit. And I do this all the time. And you guys see on the show, I don't want to take early breaks. But when you're like 10 minutes in, 5 minutes in, and it's settled down, and then you get the break, sure, this is good, man. You get the break here, you get VWAP underneath, you get the 50 period underneath, and you're taking out the pre-market. So I like that break move, and I think that those are the levels that you have to look at. And if you're thinking short, it's the same thing. Look, it didn't work today, really, on Tesla, and sometimes I forget about those wicks. You kind of try to look for where the pre-market bars kind of end. And this would be at that 830. So if you waited for that right off the open, you might have been able to get short, and it would have printed you $5. But at the same time, you don't hold it through that back to the upside. So whenever you're using pre-market levels, make sure that you respect them, because no stock, especially like Tesla, is just going to hover around the pre-market areas. So that's what I want to talk about, the pre-market level breaks. Make sure you respect them, and then you could use them as support and resistance also.
More often than not, you will get news dropping in the pre-market before the market actually opens, giving you all kinds of opportunity to get excellent fills and excellent prices before we even get to 9:30, guys. But understand the risks associated with trading in the pre-market, and understand the market is different in the pre-market before you go ahead and do so. Let's talk about more strategies. Get ready for a 2022 strategy video, guys. The market, let's face it, has changed this year from what we have been used to over the past couple of years, but we still got to come in every day and trade and make money. Let's talk about some strategies that are working this year versus last.
Yeah, look, we're in a raising rate environment, and we just had the Fed. So, volatility is going to be moving. You see the VIX make some fresh highs, and volatility going crazy. So you've got to expand your horizon. But one strategy that I know is a little bit different how you would have approached buying the dip in the morning would be looking for that expanded 930 like wipeout trade. And it can be in either direction. And I get that. I'm going to use AMD as an example. The first thing when you watch this, I'm looking for something which has a big expanded range off a key level previously. So AMD here, double bottom at 100, and then look at the resistance at 110. So in just 1 week, it's going back and forth, a big cap name, 10% in either direction. Now we have the break and gap above that 110 level. So you've broken away from that particular price. And then I want to look at what was the immediate support here. That next day was at 111. I understand we broke that 111 here. That was on the Fed down pull. I feel a lot of times those levels aren't going to be as big when you're watching them, because it's more of a liquidity vacuum, and it did snap back. But 111 is a level that I'm watching right here. That was your pre-market bottom. So you sort of take that and then look at what ends up happening at the open. You anticipate that there is going to be a big move in one direction or the other. And if I like the stock off of that break of that $10 range to the upside, then I want to be buying in front of it. Now, when it's sitting at 113, sort of sideways here, you're saying, it's not really going anywhere. But you are looking for it to snap back down. And at that point, if it bounces off of your level, you are looking to see, does it bounce, does it hold? It tries to break 111, goes like 5 or 10 cents down. Snaps back up, it's bam, you get your entry in, and then you're out right when it recovers back to the pre-market level. This is not necessarily something that you always think is going to be a continuing trend, but just catching that falling knife can be tricky. But if you've got that level in mind when it's reversed, it was 100 to 110, and now you get above that level, the next day 111 is support, turns at 111, you go long when it retakes that level. You're out at that open price that we held at 113, in and out pretty quick. But you're using volatility to your advantage. You're able to actually catch 3% of a move in just a few minutes, and that's something you can do this year that you probably weren't thinking about the last couple.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm going to just basically echo what Neil was saying. And I think in this environment, you also do have an opportunity. And this is what I'm trying to do better. It was actually, we had a video that was like, what was our sort of resolutions or what we're trying to do better for in 2022. And what I was talking about was trying to hold a little bit more of the trade for a longer move. And unfortunately, my trades don't show up from yesterday, but I think I have a decent example here on Rivian. In and just quick scalps, right? But then when we get that huge move upside there, when it kind of goes parabolic, and I wanted the short, we average, and then look at this tank all the way down. We actually held this all the way down there before finally getting out at a 40 break, but still that's 250 worth of a move. So it's like, get out of whatever you can here as it comes down. We broke the 50 period, we broke VWAP, and then we just started to hold. Normally we're getting out at these levels. I mean, this is still 70, 80, 90 cents worth of a winner on a scalp within like 5-10 minutes. But no, we let it drip all the way down. And we did the same thing on Facebook yesterday. We did the same thing on BABA. We did the same thing on NVIDIA. Yesterday, we held NVIDIA for $10 winner there off the bottom. Let's just look at that quickly here. Yesterday's bottom of 232 actually coincides with we're not going to have it here from yesterday, but this was, we are actually. Here it is, perfect. This is exactly the trade that I wanted to show you guys. Here's NVIDIA yesterday, 232 long, right? Right off the open, we take some of this long. Then it builds, and look at this. This is the important thing. It builds levels down here. It's giving you and showing you that it doesn't want to go lower. I mean, it might want to go lower, but we have a strategy here. We're going to go long. If it takes out the bottom, we get out. But look at this, scalp. So we're long right now, 234. Maybe I can just zoom this up here. You can have a better look here. Let me see if I can just do, there we go. So you're long 232 here. Look at the first out, right? There's another 234 long. Then we get out 234.40. That's 235. This is 235.70 right there. This is 237.50. So we're already now in the money $5. And we held 20, I think it was more like 30%, but we hold it all the way up. And look what we let this go, up, and hold this. So I believe that you have to scalp some out, but I just think in the crazy environment that we've had in 2022, like this market can be up 3% and then back to zero in an afternoon. That's a crazy environment. So you want to be long or short when stuff like that happens. So I believe the way to trade 2022 is, like what Neil was saying, scalp out. There's no doubt about that. Take some out, because the volatility, you could be wrong, like right and then wrong right away. But when you're right, you definitely want to make sure you hold something, and that gives you that $10 winner here on NVIDIA.
If you are a short-term trader, you have to be ready, willing, and able to shift directions and shift your approach when the market changes. And the market has changed this year versus last year, guys. So increased volatility, increased ranges means increased opportunities. There's a couple ideas for you to take to the market next week. I wanted to mention this kid pick just popping up here. PIK back to the upside, guys, on decent volume. Testing 4, if you remember, this was, my screen went blank, but if there was something here, you would see that this company was doing a deal with Disney on a new movie. So not entirely sure why that is happening, but pick just popping back up, guys.
Because whatever they're doing with Disney is a big secret. That's hilarious. I have no idea what's going on there, but I did get into that long Chevron. The high of the day is my out at 813. You'll see me short at 790. Brendan brought that one to us. We just watch out for it. It's got a bit of a spread, like 5 cents spread. Sometimes maybe a couple of ticks more than that on an $8 stock. So just understand there will be a little bit of slippage there. But there was a couple of questions about SoFi, and I understand that the Square is up 10% and Affirm is up 8 or whatever it still is, and SoFi is not as strong, but 5% is 5%, 4.5 is 4.5. It's still a strong name. What I look at here is it's a big bottom that you made at 750, but a lot of stocks made that same low. And really, when I look at the last capitulation, it was through about 920, this level, last support, and then you have just a couple of days to make the bottom, and now you're churning back above. To get really, really bullish here, you want to see something like that holding this breakout. Like you're essentially, like you haven't gotten back to last week's support is the best way to think about it. Last week's support levels are still resistance on SoFi, and it's, even though it's gone up 20%. You get above that and can hold that channel $9 to $10 for a little bit, then break out from there. That's super bullish. To me, you're not even thinking about it being in a bull trend until you can make that type of a move. Like at what point has it been able to break and hold above? Like last time it did this, it broke 14 to the downside. It tried to get above, spent 1 day and immediately rejected it. So let's see what happens. Can it get past that 917? Hold and close above a couple of times, and then really get going. Now, if you're dollar cost averaging into something, who cares? Like you buy it, buy a little bit more, that kind of thing. But if you're just trying to like peg it and you're looking for when is it going to swing to this 13 level, it's probably perfectly fine to get it when it finally holds above 10 and then cash 20% that way. So just wanted to quickly get some thoughts on SoFi there. Long Chevron, like I said, like spreads all over the place. Like my price is 790. but it's like I got one fill and then it ticked up and it's like, oh, I can get 8s, and there was a big offer there sitting in front of it. I'm not bidding until this gets down to about VWAP or just below that 770, like 760, like 25 cents in the money. And then I'm looking for where it broke out to, and that's about 730 to 740. The key about wanting the short is how quickly the volume has been dropping off since it broke out. So it's made a double or triple top and volume's been dying. That's why I'm favoring the short here, but not letting it through the high of the day, Ms. V.
Hey guys, so we got a super chat from AB. Mr. Sean and Mr. Neil, I would like to send something to you and your fantastic friends. Please, I need address. I love you guys. Sean, you are the king. Well, I'm pretending to be a Sean right now. Randy and Lucas are having a lot of fun. AB, thank you so much for your super chat. I sent you the address on the chat. It's super sweet of you. So... Hey Sean,
What the hell are these guys doing?
Please let me know in the chat if you received the address. And back to you guys. Brandon opening drinks right now.
Larry, don't look so scared. But what was? This is what happens. Has Randy got into that Guinness already?
Oh, well, I just heard Brendan.
What is going on?
Brendan's opening something.
Brendan is ripping the LCBO bag right now. Oh, I haven't seen Greg all day, but when there's beer, this guy comes over with
Make it a sponsorship.
real quick.
Thanks, dude.
Right there. It's about to be. I actually want the can. Can I not get a can or I can
You don't
do
drink
whatever I
Guinness
want.
out of a can.
I'm trying to show people. Well, yeah, we'll put the Guinness right here. Brendan is right now pouring the Guinness. So maybe if you guys can get a shot of that, we'll do that. Oh, yeah, that's right. You're hating on Brendan's pour.
Well, I mean, yeah.
But a Guinness.
No, but he's the Guinness guy, so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. So no doubt about that. Okay, we are reloaded. This is a trading show, and there it is right now. So, I just heard the crack. Even though I try to bring it back to trading, and then all right. So this is a treat for me. I don't normally drink really at all throughout the week, and if I do, it'd be like a glass of wine, like we had last night with Gus. Shout out to Gus. It was great seeing an old friend and an old trader come through. So that was great. Okay, so here we go. We did reload this Facebook trade. Let's just get into this before we start drinking. This is at 205.70 there. What's our average price? 205.70. So that's right where this 50 period is. I think we take this out. I wouldn't mind getting out of a piece to relieve some pressure here.
What's even going on here?
I don't know. This is what
are y'all doing?
Hey guys, I don't know. All right, back to the. Let's go. Leave Brennan alone there. Okay, so 205.80 there on the drop down. It feels like this Christmas all over again. We'll just see where it goes. I feel like the futures may have just made that move down to 1,400 there, 14,000, sorry. I believe we test that again. I'm still trying to respect that high, but at the same time, I just honestly, I wrote on the sticky note today that I was not sure of where the market is, and honestly, the market is basically where it has been all day. We are at these highs right now, but we're not too far away. The key, I guess, was taking out that 14,000, which was the top right there. There's the break, and you could see the move on the break. So let's just wait to see what happens with Facebook. My out on this name, I don't even have it. I don't even have a script order. Was going to be just the high of the day. So if if Facebook takes this out at 206.50, then we're gone. But I think this is worth holding. Let's just see what happens here with the NASDAQ. We're holding my Facebook until 206.40. And a weaker name, probably Microsoft. We'll look at that in a minute.
Yeah, so that PIK, if I wasn't in Longeveron, I might have actually been trying this name. I haven't checked to see what locates cost on PIK here, but it just made a spike to the previous top, that 430 level, pulling right back into $4. Maybe it has a chance to hold up at VWAP. You'd like to see it. Like, if there's enough volume there, like it's barcoded at that price before, so 360 could be in the cards. It's worth noting, I'm only pulling up the daily chart so you can see that the 50 period and the last point of consolidation and support since this last flush down, previous support I should say, is at that 430. So I think that's probably why you're getting a bit of a turnaround there. I think some bag holders selling it every time it gets to that price. And then everyone looking at the chart that wants to short it is saying, ooh, look at that level on the daily chart, like the same thing I would say, and then starting to sell it off. So Longeveron I'm in, PIK, very, very similar setup and much better volume. Like it's on 80 million shares. Versus only like 2 on Longeveron. I almost like that better, but this one has already come back from 430. You sort of set a firm. it's very close to that 37, 37.5 area from this morning that I said you need to wait for it to get to that price. On the 15-minute, that's your big level. I should be pulling it back a little bit further so you can see that's your big level recently. So this is a name that has already broken through previous support, broken to the next, or at least attempting to break to the next level up, and that's going to be your 37 to 37.5 as this market continues to churn. If you haven't taken out the high of the day on the NASDAQ, I think that's shortable, but your stop is 37.60. Maybe you can think about 38. I'd go with the tighter one there. So I'm looking at a firm and AMD getting pretty close. That one gets back to VWAP. It is what it is. AMD's just been relatively weak. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's about. It's down 4% while the NASDAQ is up and the ES is churning. But if it gets back to VWAP, that's going to be a fade here. 110 through 111.50. Same thing we did right as we came onto the afternoon show.
Yeah, so right now the futures are starting to push it a little bit here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure.
It's in front of us, man.
All right, cheers. Salute. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. We're going to do this. The Guinness is in the building right there. I've asked for, we'll get a can, because, but we're not sponsored.
There it is.
Oh, cheers. Yeah, hey, what's up? Does Miss V have her drink over there? All right, let's do it all again. Hey, cheers to you guys as well. Salute. We'll have a drink quickly.
Oh, CVX.
All right. Now let's go crazy. No, but shout out to Pratt as well. I don't know if he has his drink over there or not yet, but we'll be getting our drink on. And cheers to everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I don't know what the situation is with our bars now, but we're open. It's a great day in the streets of Toronto. So everybody here, everybody wherever you are, have a good time. Say what's up to your family. Give them a big kiss. And I actually just messaged my wife that same thing. So there it is now. Drinking on the job. I don't really consider this a job. There's Randy. There's Randy and Lucas. What's up, guys?
What up, boys?
You probably deserve it the most out of everybody, putting up with us, have to listen to us every day. So thank you for that one as well. And those of you that want that beat, I'm not going to be asking for it anymore, because Lucas is revamping probably just one. We can just put it right beside this guy. Oh no. There it is. But we do have the Guinness going out.
Wash my elbow.
Oh no, not to fix that. I'll have to fix that after. But I don't even remember what I was saying, Neil. Something about Happy St. Patrick's Day. And we are getting ready to watch the market come in here. So I believe we retest that 14,000. Let's see if that is true on the NASDAQ. We are short Facebook right now. We took some pressure off. We initially were short there. We took a little bit off. Now we're short. I mean, these are just average prices. So we're holding it against 206.50. If that breaks, we're gone. And I'm going to fix Benny the Bull over here.
Hey, Benny the Bull. So someone mentioned that CVX was coming to that level that I missed this morning, and you're right. Look, obviously I should have had it. That wick is ugly. So the morning high was at 161. I know we're testing it now. I'll get rid of that wick. I can clean up the charts here. Just want to get away from the trade too much. I just grabbed the 75s, the 3/4 mark. It's a triple top. Firm is getting to that 37 level, so I'm going to be getting into that one as well. But I got to take you to Longeveron. We show the winners. We show the losers. And so far, AMD was good. Longeveron's going to do that. Sometimes you just got to accept that you've made the top wick. Somebody beat me by like 5 pennies here because it looks like it went to 8.20, or maybe it's like 6 or 7 cents. It doesn't really matter. But takes out the high and then immediately back into VWAP. And this, look, when you go counter trend, sometimes what's going to happen is the pressure or relieving the pressure of that stop out, right? Like all the shorts just get stopped out, and then you lose that momentum. And there's nothing on the bid if it comes back down, right? Because there's no one covering, there's less people covering in that regard. And you have possibly trapped some longs on a breakout. I didn't favor this one for a breakout to the long side, but I did just get stopped and see it come all the way back into VWAP. That's a pretty bearish move. Only it's kind of done similar moves like a couple of times here. Like this move is very similar where it took out 8 and then snapped back down. Then it retested the high anyway. So I'm not completely sure this one is going to be done. Next trade looks like it's very likely going to be a firm at that 37. And I just jumped into CVX. Checking back on AMD, it doesn't look like it's going to get there. Even with the market, trying to climb back toward that high. Like, give me a break. Like the NASDAQ is climbing right back towards the highs at 14.1. And AMD can't even get to VWAP. Like, of course it's relatively weak today. It's just a slow grind here, but it has to be shorted if it gets there, just given how weak this has been.
Brad, get over here. Because there's a lot of people saying that how dare we not salute Brad. So thank you, Brad, for all your hard work again.
How'd you get more?
Let's put one back. Yeah, I think he's, see? He just took down the whole can. We're splitting one here, but that's fine. I see there's more over there. We're going to get started right now. Okay, Facebook up to the upside. This is the spot now. I'd like to put down our drink because we just got reloaded, and we are right now near a spot that could, send us the other way right now on this trade. So we're getting really close to getting tipped out of this one. Unfortunately, that is, like I said, I was not expecting this kind of a day here for the NASDAQ today. You're up 0.9. We're going to take one shot on this right now. This is the last short, probably in the market today for me. We're just making that call back down to 14,000 there. If it fails, it fails, man. We really hammered Facebook yesterday, and we don't want to give this back today, just holding on to a short when we really do like the long. I love the long on Facebook, man. This is, again, a company that I think I made this bet. I made this bet last week. I mean, no one wanted to take it. It was when it was at 197. I said Facebook will be higher at the end of this year than it is now. So, I mean, I like the stock. Has it gone a little too far, too fast? Yeah, I think all these NASDAQ names have. But, hey, why mess? Don't step in the way, man. If the market thinks that what Jay Powell and everything went down yesterday, if they think that that's a dovish move and they want to bring the market back up, then you never fight the Fed. I don't think we are. I still think it was pretty hawkish. But, hey, man, ball don't lie, market don't lie. And the price action right now is to the upside. So here we go, man. The NASDAQ is taking out its 14.1, which is the high. So we're going to go to 14.1 now instead of 14 even. I bet the other way, and we're going to see. I'm not out of it yet. We still have about 15 cents to go. And it'd only be a 55-cent hit. It's not huge, but still, we don't like to lose on that. Someone said also, I think it was, actually, I know who it was Mirzing. Shout out. You said I'm ignoring Palantir to not jinx it. Nah. Yesterday, Palantir was a big boy trade for me, man. Look at this long. We hammered this long to the upside yesterday. This was a beautiful, this is one of my favorite trades of the year here. Palantir just came in. We found that 11 area, and we just put on the trades right into here, right into the teeth of the Fed. That was at 2 o'clock, man. And then we were like, come on, get Jay Powell on the screen. And then boom, came to the rescue, and we hit this all the way to the upside. One of the most profitable trades for me of the year was this Palantir one. So yeah, definitely not staying away. I just love the price action to the upside. If Palantir came in, I mean, we started the show at 2 o'clock and it was here. This could have been a long. We were looking short in Facebook, which was the problem. But Palantir, the last time I bought this name, and you know this because I tweet out my positions, even in the investing account, was 12.05. So I did not buy anything into these dips here at 10 bucks. I was like, no, I can't just keep on buying. It's nice to see it back upside. Our average price is still fine because we were in this on the direct listing down there at 9, but we have gotten some out. We did buy some somewhere in here, 16 or 17. I think it was on this dip down in, but then it just kept on going, man. So last buy was 12.05. Palantir really working. Yeah, Facebook dancing. It did just come back to 206 there, by the way. So that gave us a flat trade. I don't know. Let's just see what happens. I feel like we're dancing with the devil here.
Yeah, and I want to come to Mullen. I got both Affirm and CVX. They both went slightly in the money here. The stop in CVX is just above that 161, not by much, but that's the even dollar level that we're playing off of, and Affirm that 37. The last time we pulled back on Mullen was at 250, not $25. 250 short into about 235. So if you get any kind of support down here, that looks like where the dip buy would be. I've been waiting till it gets to VWAP or 230 to 235 in VWAP, or just $3, right? I don't want to be playing this inside. I want to be playing at the key price levels. So if I see any kind of a bid, I'll let you guys know. There's about 100,000 on ARCA at 235. Nothing significant yet, but if that starts to stack up, I might jump in front of a size trader and just take that out. We're going to hit this one. I'm going to use the basketball one a lot because it's March Madness.
Yeah.
My bracket's 1-0 because I'm a homer for the Big Ten, so I pretty much take about every Big Ten team to win in the first round, and Michigan did win today, so congratulations. I didn't check to see what happens with it was Davidson. Was it Davidson playing? No, Providence was playing the other game. I'll double check to see if I'm going to be 2-0 because that should be over. First leg in Affirm, I'm taking out here for the first 1-1. That's about a quarter, and then we'll see if we can't get to 50. And at this point, back down to 36 is all I'm really asking for here because, again, you're going counter trend. So we're going to bank the profit when we can. I know some people are looking at Tesla, rightfully so. Doesn't quite get to that 885 level. Still a chance. I mean, that's the big one up top. Starting to reverse is the market. You try to get to that high again and a bit of a pullback. That's going to drag Tesla with it as strong as it might be. but still time for it to make another low and make a run at that 885. That's the big level for Tesla. I think I still feel like it's going to get there before we have a bigger pullback, but a little bit of a slight dip here in Tesla.
All right, I'm pretty disappointed. Wisconsin, Big Ten, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll say shout out to Dominic and everybody there, and Wisconsin Badgers. We'll see how they do. There's the move down that we were waiting for. So we'll take a 10-cent hit on 10% of the trade. Actually, God, we got out twice there, so we're out now. We're still holding 80% of this short into Facebook. The market just cracked a little bit lower there through the 50 period. Let's see if it continues. There's more headlines. Let's go over to Brendan.
Just noticing, guys, actually just related to retail stocks here. Macy's, first of all, showing a lot of relative strength this afternoon at day highs. If you remember this one as well, Guess reported along with Williams-Sonoma also at day highs. Still 9.4% for Guess. Also WSM having a pretty good afternoon as well.
Oh, yes,
Williams-Sonoma. Yeah, we forgot about that. I put this back on my head there because, like, Neil's like the one that's got the bling on. And it's
Although,
like, I feel like, yeah, go ahead.
And I got to say thank you guys for noting, for Maggie for giving this to us, because we didn't really have much. This is actually a green shirt, but let's be real, it's not that great for St. Patty's Day. Yeah. Maggie went out and got us something to wear.
It looks more green now that you wear that on it.
I guess you can tell
like
a bit
now
more.
You can sort of tell.
But the other problem was, so apparently, and I apologize for this, I don't usually wear a necklace. This was banging against a microphone, and Emersing was in the chat like, yo, bro, you need to move this away from your, move your mic up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
so you guys let me know. Hopefully, if I fixed it. It's a live show. I'm not a professional broadcaster or anything, so yeah, we've been doing it for a while. But yeah, you guys pointed out. I'm glad you have our backs.
You didn't attend that broadcasting class that we took?
Huh? Oh, my bad.
We didn't. No, we didn't. We didn't take anything. It's unbelievable.
I'm pretty sure it said no Guinness on air.
Do this. Yeah, are we allowed? Well, you guys, other podcasts drink.
Too late. Too late now. We've done it like several times. So.
Yeah, whatever. That's I don't know where those big bottles of champagne were. Oh, we're almost at 300,000. I don't know. Maybe we should crack one. Well, the producer like threatens us all
innocent
the time.
Gun guy.
Yeah, we'll do some innocent gun, whatever, man. Okay, now we go. Now Facebook's going to the downside right now, but that's from the islands, right? So
innocent? No.
It's Holland?
No. So it's actually, I'm not even sure where it's from, but their best is the rum cask. That's why you're thinking of that, because Innocent Gun's best brew is the rum cask.
Okay, right.
See, like now that you've started on this track, like it's gonna turn into.
You said Innocent Gun.
I know, my bad.
Well.
My bad. Anyways, by the way, I just took some out of CVX, so we'll ring a bit of the register for that one. Starting to pull back off that level. I missed it this morning. I'm not missing it now. The market's starting to roll back. Next bid's going to be out in front of 160.40. So I'll get that one in there. And then just want to get the rest out in front of 160. So the old VWAP retrace is going to be in. A firm next bid should be 2 cents from now.
And guys, remember when we were sweating it out about the Facebook? Well, the luck of the Irish right now, killing it to the downside here as the market is falling right now. Like I said, the last report here, I thought Brendan might have mentioned it there, but I'll just say it now, was that it looks like the White House is kind of agreeing now that China could supply weapons to Russia. Like, that's just going to get nasty. And I pray for everybody out there, and just like the pictures that sometimes you see, it's just crazy about what's happening. But we're not trying to be political. But honestly, when it's like lives at stake, it's a completely different thing. So, anyways, I don't know. I'm not going to get worked up. But like I am, because this is what I am. But yeah, I hate seeing those pictures, man. And it's like, as a family, man, it's just, I don't know, whatever. Let's just move on from it. But you know, it's like, it's heartbreaking. You're tearing up my heart, you know. That's some little Backstreet Boys there. I don't know what that was. Oh, Backstreet Boys is coming through to the Molson Amphitheater. It's Bud Light Stage, I think it's called now, here. So I don't know. I got to make sure that I don't get convinced to go see the Backstreet Boys this year. But we had some wicked concerts there in the last little while.
True. Not them.
Yeah, I love sitting on the lawn there on the amphitheater there near Old Ontario Place. Are we throwing to something?
No, we're gonna throw to V in a second, but that PIK is making a run at $5 right here. If it looks like it's about to halt, I'll let you guys know, but it did resist a halt on that move from 420 to 5. Somehow didn't halt into there. I'm not sure why the halt band didn't get triggered, but just made a false break at 5 even. Was that Miss V?
Hey guys, I want to remind you to smash the like button. Less than an hour left until the end of this trading day. It's St. Patrick's Day, and we would really appreciate if you smash that like button. We also got a super chat from Dominic Familara. Thank you so much, fam. And Dominic talks about that peak, P-I-K. Also, if you people talk about that name, it's up like more than 100% and keep ripping. So maybe we can take a look at that P-I-K, guys.
All right. Yeah,
So,
it's NSYNC, by the way. That was the problem.
Same thing. I just want to make a clarification, by the way, because we're trying to keep it real around here. This is a firm. I'll zoom in so you can see. It's still showing me in the position, but oh yeah, I keystroked out of it. I didn't mean to just move my bid to cancel bid and then cross the spread to punch out to get some shares out of 36.5. I then ended up always cancel bid first and then execute. In this case, I crossed the market and then thought I would cancel my bid after. Both get filled and spike to the downside. So I am now all out of it. I got out of that long, which is flat because I paid the spread again. And it started continuing to fall, but I am out of that trade. So we may want to check that position board, guys. It's not correct. I am still in the CVX short. I did get the next leg down, that 160.40, and now I'm just shooting for the 160 at this point. So if it gives you that dollar-ish move, that's what we're looking to capture. But at this point, it's pick that's the mover. It's pick that's the one to trade. And like I said before, sometimes I don't understand the halt bands. This is a 1-minute chart, and you're going to obviously see it make the breakout here at 4.30 and go to $5. Is that over? Is that enough of a move to halt it? Sometimes it is, and every now and then it just seems like it's not. But if you're watching the daily chart, there's nothing that really sticks out here. So you're probably thinking about halts or 6 or a fail right here and then back down through $5. So like those are the things that I'm watching on this name. I tend to want to fade these late. We had to pay for locates. Day trade the world, just about everything is going to be free borrows. We do have a tier 1 broker, but if we don't have available shorts, we can get a quote and then see if we want to pay for them. I think it's worthwhile because if it falls, it could fall 50 cents to $1, and you're paying 18 cents here. And this stock could actually get to that $6.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was, Iron Maiden there. I'm trying to see. It is the Backstreet Boys that are going to be at the Bud Light stage there.
Oh, so it's not in sync.
No, it's not in sync. Nah, it's
not it matters to me.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter to me too much either. Last year I saw Blue Rodeo there, so that was that was really hype there. Okay, let's just keep on going. So we did get out of some of that Facebook as well, so that's a nice little move here back in. I don't think we went to 205 and change there on Facebook. Let me just see if we did, because I might not have any bids out there. No, we didn't. That was just a dark pool wick. So we have now put some bids down here just in case, but 205.30. It's a 50-cent winner, and we just put this on for you guys live. So hopefully that works out. And I spent a whole bunch of time talking about why we like it. And that's the reason, man. That's the whole point of the show. Like, thank you for the 30,000 followers on Twitter. And I'm going to keep posting, and I'm going to keep trying to do the sticky note and everything, because like this is the kind of stuff that I'm looking at. Like if I could write the sticky note right now, it would just say short Facebook, strong yesterday. We believe the market's going to fall. I'm like basically writing the sticky note right now for you. Short until we break 206.50. Like that's what I would say, and there it is, and that's what we put on. So now we'll just cash a little bit. I'm still uncertain because there's that run, and I just said when we were up here, like I just gave you also a 100-point trade on the NASDAQ. I said I think we're going to retest 14. Did we get there? No, we got to 14.06 right there, and it started at 80, went all the way back down. So if you used it against 14.1, 20 points worth of risk to make 60. So not bad there, 3-1. We'll see if it continues downside. With some of these, and again, I don't know if it's a bunch of, I don't want to say lies, but again, the stuff that comes out of the White House or just anybody, I don't care where, I don't care what government or whatever, you got to be careful to trust some things that come out. So I always think that the market doesn't lie, to be honest with you. I say this all the time to my wife when we're sitting at home, chilling out and like talking about, coronavirus or whatever. And it's like, I feel like the market, does have a good handle on a lot of this stuff. So, the market rebounded off that, and we're just going to wait to see. But I feel like this Facebook trade is going to be a good one for us. And I thought Microsoft was weaker today, but you can see it's still kind of holding up okay. I was expecting this to be below VWAP right now, and it's not. So maybe Microsoft holds this. 292, maybe a long here for Softy.
So I'll answer your question here, Tisha. I was trying to short PIK. I actually was I offered 581 when it made this spike to the upside. Again, trying to get to $6. Someone jumped the offer at the top. I just tried to get in front of it, and then you see it fall down. The second time through, like, it has to make a nice consolidation lower high here, which it looks like it's trying to do. And then at that point, I'd be looking for like 550 to 560 with an 80 stop. So this is what it's going to try to do here. And maybe $6 is, come on, maybe $6 is going to be the level. Seriously, every time I get it off. Maybe $6 is, okay, I'm not chasing it any further. There we go. I just got 49s in. Maybe $6 is going to be the level, but ultimately, I don't want this taking out that 580 high here. I think if it does that, it's inevitable that it's going to hit 6, but for now, I think I see an entry point that makes a little bit of sense to me. So fresh highs, and I'm out. Otherwise, the first retracement is not going to be the price that I wanted, so it's going to be for half the shares. I wish I got 81s the first time. I did not. You're going to see me? Ooh, you did not. You just try to run stops there. Print only some dark pools up. Nice try, market. Nice try. Brendo?
We're talking about this Nucor in the pre-market, guys. Ended up didn't really do anything all day, but I just noticed on a volume scanner here, this thing popping back up, trying to head higher. Remember, they increased their current quarter forecast for Nucor in the pre-market this morning.
Oh, Nucor, yeah. So it's one of my holdings there. We have to look at Nucor.
But then it was down. Remember we had that discussion?
Yeah, let's see.
It didn't make any sense.
Nucor, yeah, it was a good update from yesterday. 132. The volume's here. It's 3 million shares. Wow, yeah, 130 bottom. Wow. And again, that's another little tip, right? I'm not going to wear these things. It's like you feel them on your head, and it's like, we'll put them here. I'll figure that out later. But this 133, I just wanted to say, like, you know, these even levels there, and I already know because I got out at 138.50 or something, so I already know 140 was a level, so I don't have to show it to you. But like this 140 and then right down to 130, like sometimes you get like pegged right to the even dollar. Like it's come down to 130 before, ripped back to 140. Is it going to do it again? I mean, maybe. That's not a horrible situation. If you like Nucor, they they upped their forecast, and you could see that, you know, 132. You could go long now, use 130 as your out, and even if you zone it down here to 125, it seems like it likes these even dollars. So to me, the next move up is 150. So I mean, that's, you know, why not? Why can't we take 150? I mean, we're long down here at 95. I took my first piece out at 138. We reloaded it twice. I didn't get it here, but we got it there, and then we got it there. And, you know, it's come back in, so does it have the potential to fall again? Yes, it does. It's 320 already? Wow, I didn't even realize
how is that possible?
What time this is. We talked about SoFi. I'm just going to go over to SoFi now. Like, so what's up to Dinesh? Thank you again for the comments. I said you could YOLO off that 840 level. Oh, come on, there it is. And yeah, it did dip down to 780, but now you're back to 9. I think that SoFi's gone up nicely here today. If you wanted to take a piece out right now and you do have an oversized position, I think, you know, you may want to scalp a little bit out, especially if you're 10% in. If you got long at 8 or 810, 820, you may want to take a little bit out here on SoFi. I believe we get back to these levels, like $13. So this is kind of like my price target right here. I feel like a lot of these names that have got beat down can cover up some of these. So like, I kind of like up here, and then I see all this. So like, should have it ever really dropped below here? A lot of this is the Russia factor. There's a lot of fear, obviously, in the marketplace right now. We've talked about VIX and things like that. I just feel like a lot of this is not SoFi related. So if you can get back above, then okay, obviously we've got some good news here about politics and the war and whatnot. So hopefully we can get back up to this 13 range. That's my target for SoFi. But I can't, you know, don't like, you know, look a gift horse in the mouth, I guess, here, and not take a little bit of profit. I mean, it's up to $9. You can take your 10% on SoFi. That's not bad. You get that in 2 days. I think that's worth it. But again, if you're trying to YOLO, then you don't YOLO 10%. You want a Undy, right? So hold those chicken tendies, boys.
Tendies. So they're working on the position board. I did mention when it still showed me in that Affirm that I wasn't in Affirm, but I did get the pick short. Like, you guys were watching as I was trying to get the offer and chasing it as I was talking and then repeating myself because I kept moving my order in real time. I did get first leg out there at 530. I got bids down into 5 even. And the other thing, while that happened, my stop's in place. I just adjusted it. While that was going on, Mullen did come back. It tested VWAP, that 235. It reclaimed it. So now I'm long in front of that 235 in VWAP. So long Mullen. at 236. In front of it, short pick, I still have Chevron. Even though we took some of that Chevron out, I still have it. It never quite got to 160, but it is still trying to put that retrace on. So, 3 positions on for me. Now it is correct. So thank you guys for getting that fixed. Shout out to both Lucas and Randy. They're on the 1s and 2s. They got it.
I asked my wife, and she's like, man, you forgot to mention we saw Blue Rodeo, and so that was one time. And then earlier on in the year, we saw Willie Nelson.
Now that's what
so that is what I'm talking about. And I was like, how could I forget who that was? I was like, who is it? There, but yeah, Willie Nelson. That was fantastic. What a great bunch of concerts there. And then you get to sit on the grass and do whatever you want up on the grass, if you know what I'm saying. It was a real fun time, especially Willie Nelson, Blue Rodeo, great concerts, and Blue Rodeo, of course, Canadian legends. We all know that. Okay, so that's SoFi. Position board is up, so that is right. I am short right now. Is it right for you?
It's right now, yeah.
Okay, so those are all the right positions right now. Facebook does make that move back up to hit this 206.20 again. I should have reloaded it. I'm going to now. Didn't even realize what was going on up there. So 206.23. Let's put some more shares on there for Facebook. Let's just go to 206.20. It doesn't really matter at this point. And again, because it's getting a little bit later in the day here, there is possibility that we test, again, upside, right? So we don't really want to put on too much risk here, but we'll do it. We'll sit at 206.25, see if we get that offer. Actually, it starts 23. Did it? Yeah, okay. So 206.25, we'll sit there, see if we get that offer, and then look to trade. Is there any names you guys want us to look at? Oh, remember Eli Lilly? This was a name that I got into at 250 something, and it's just at 52-week highs. So Eli Lilly. Go ahead, yeah. Eli Lilly, a nice move. Look at this move here on Eli Lilly. Like, where in the hell did this come from? I know there was the cancer talk with Joe Biden when he did the State of the Union address, but Eli Lilly, like, we're long. Maybe it's 240. I'm going to have to check it out, but I thought it was 250. We're in here. It's a nice move upside, and this is what we talk about with diversification. It's like my portfolio is getting hit, but I think I was down like 13% or something from its highs. So that's because, again, you hold Apple, Microsoft, Google, you've been a little bit isolated from these moves. But then there's names like Eli Lilly, AbbVie, Nucor that I'm in. I sold Walmart, but there's plays like that. Rogers we've talked about, Enbridge, XLE, some of the energy plays, some of the banks. Bank of Nova Scotia is the one that I like. I'm still in that one. And so anyways, portfolio diversification, it's a little lazy because, you just kind of like get into good names, but it does pay off in times like this.
And so I loved healthcare for like that whole rotation. Like when I started thinking that inflation was out of control, healthcare was one of the spaces I like. UNH, and I don't really dabble too much in terms of like get in, something's a long-term hold. I'm thinking quarters, but it almost hit a triple top today. And if you look at $500 for United Health, it's like 510 back to end the year, but really it's the beginning of the year. It was like the 30th or 31st, and then it tested 500 again in Feb, and then we just got a breakout again today. And the way I always look at this is a lot of times if you're looking for places to trim, put that money somewhere else, because I'm not sure we're done going to the downside ultimately. So I believe in selling some things when they get too high. Maybe Chevron goes higher, I don't know. Maybe UNH goes higher, I don't know. But to me, selling some makes a lot of sense. So I trimmed UNH in particular. And I know on dips, I like Danaher to buy in the healthcare space. UNH is not at a price that I want to re-enter. If it got to the 200 period, I would. There's a real battle happening in PIK here. And it's about 580 to 585. And then there's buyers at that 525 level. So I've kind of moved into, I'll take some more shares in front of the 585 and then make sure I'm getting some bids out in the 530s. Ultimately, this does feel like it's going to go. So if I wasn't short and sort of in it right now, I'd be telling myself, either tighten the stop if it wasn't already tight, or maybe you don't need to take it a third time. But PIK still looking relatively strong. I did get into Mullen. We mentioned that one. Already got the first leg out. Got to move that offer. Just already got the first leg out in front of 245. I think 255 is the next one up. Sometimes it's the evens, but on the way down, it looks like it's been respecting every, not the 50s, but the 55 level. So I'm going to get an offer out in front of that 55 if it can continue to run. I'll reload in front of VWAP. And then give it a shot right back towards that 2-quarter. But, Mullen has been coming off. I did think it had a chance to get to 3. It's been a strong base, and maybe it's entirely possible it could be done for the day. But after it held 150, you just want to see this close above $2 and then see if it can't make a base there tomorrow. It doesn't have to be done necessarily today. Ms. V again?
Hey team, guys almost finished their Guinness Cup, so we still don't have 1K likes. How come? And again, a reminder, it's a wonderful day. It's St. Patrick's Day. I hope you're having fun and profitable day. Me and Tony again, Double Trouble, will be doing closing bell. So please make sure you like this video and support the community. Back to guys.
Oh my God, they just keep running these stops.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the problem right now. When you have liquidity like this, I got you, Frank Jones. I'm here. And we actually just reloaded that trade. It's not like this is not that much against me because we're short right now at 206.20. So this is against us though. But there's the Facebook move up, and this is why we cashed out, man. Like when this dipped down there, we got to take some out. So it allows us to reload. So we'll still be positive on this name. Take some out. We put on, like I said, this is not the full position. It's a good position, but I don't want to trust this into the close. Like this is the thing. This is what I look at all the time, relative strength. Like Facebook is up now 1.36%, more than the market. The market is not, it's near day highs, but it's not at day highs, and Facebook is looking to take out, it just did take out day's highs. So, this is what you got to look at when you're trying to study the markets and trying to figure out like which stocks to fade and which stocks not to. It just looks like Facebook today, just, if the market's going to be strong, then Facebook's going to lead. So we're going to get out here on a 206.50 break. Looks like it's coming sooner rather than later. It's a little north of 206.50, not exactly that price, but you'll see me get out of this very, very soon if it keeps going up. Over to the big desk.
Just noticing some NFT names popping up, guys. TKAT. Haven't talked about this one for a while. Broke 2 there on a huge volume spike, trying to go into the close here for TKAT.
I remember you, TKAT. It's that over on the Amex, that one. So PIK, it's going to look crazy action just now. So that 585 broke. I took the stop out, and then in the same minute, it breaks 6. That's the thing. Instead of it broke 585, it was going to take out that high. So I didn't really wait for that price to get to stop. But then it did the same wick break that it pulled here. It pulled again. So it goes up to 619, and then rug pull. So it's a failed breakout trade. At that point, I'm just thinking back below 6 on a wick top. You short the level. It's 590. I have to respect the fact that the battle was at 60 to 80 here and takes them out, and then respect the buying at 530 and takes them out there. But the way that they've now pulled the rug twice on breakouts just tells me that eventually this thing looks like it's trying to fall $1. Like the bid, it's super strong. The algo's definitely, the buyers certainly have some control of it, but when it tries to make a breakout, the breakouts are no good. It takes out a key level, and then there's just dumping of shares once it gets through that level. So that opportunity on a break is being taken to sell shares instead of accelerate buying. At least that's what I'm seeing on the tape. But to the point, the shorts haven't actually been working on the stock, just pointing out what I see here. I can't chase along up here when it's doing this. It never makes any sense to me. The risk to reward never makes sense, but I can find an out for my short. In this case, if it gets back above that 6, the fail break was there. I don't even care about the high of the day. I'll place my limit above that to make sure I get that fill if and when it breaks, but I'm back into the short side of the trade. I'm thinking about that 14.1 on the NASDAQ, and if we do retest it, which it's trying to do, we're in a 100-point range, as Sean mentioned on the NASDAQ futures, and a firm can't get back towards that high. So that 37 looks pretty legit on a firm. The other name that I think had been trading pretty key, it didn't get to VWAP. That's AMD. It just can't even seem to get here to VWAP. It's getting pretty close, and I still favor this as a weak name to the short side of the trade, but it might not be able to get to the price that we got earlier on in the show for you guys. With only 25 minutes to go, 15 to 18 minutes until those imbalances come out, running out of time to be able to get that AMD trade.
Yeah, guys, Neil and I have to be flat at the end of every day. So, watch out for that. And yeah, that pick, sometimes those, the stocks like Pick and Mullen and things like that, like those are names you want to look at for sure. So thanks for bringing them to our attention, because into the close, you really need to find names with volume, especially because a lot of the levels, and I'm going to talk about Roblox right here, like this name is up 11%, and it's like, I saw this yesterday. I tried to trade this in the afternoon and it really didn't do much. And I feel like it's doing the same thing again right here into the close. I know the futures are bouncing and not doing anything. But like, look at this move that Roblox had today. Bottomed at 42, it's up to 46. Look at this move off the open, down to 40. And I want to bring this to everyone's attention because like we talked about it with Nucor there touching 130. The same thing today with Roblox. Like Roblox right off the open, it does that trade where it takes out the pre-market there at 41 or so, gets all the way down to 40. And I mean, if you're going to support a level, you could support 40. There's no doubt about that. That's close to, if not, I was going to say, is that close to the all-time low, but it looks like Roblox did get 35. I guess it was 40 yesterday on Roblox. But there it is, man. Comes right back into that 40 level and then just screams the rest of the move up, like all the way up to 44. So that's like, again, 10%, like all the way to the upside from that 40 bottom. Give me $4. And like at the beginning of the show, we said, you know, these are the times where you kind of got to think about holding on for a little bit longer. Just like I'm giving this Facebook room, it's gonna stop me out. But like, look at this move. You know, like it's worth it for me to take a shot. Like if you're gonna play off 40, give it to 39. I mean, you're gonna give it $1 and then the upside is 4. Like as long as you're using ratios like 3 to 1, 4 to 1, 2 to 1 even, 1.5 to 1, anything to 1. As long as it's greater than, you should be okay. And then here's the move back up, and then look at it go again. It takes off again to the upside. So from the bottom, you're up $6 here on Roblox on a $40 name. Wow, this name is spicy, man. So we'll watch Roblox tomorrow. Like, I want to be able to look at this. If the market crashes tomorrow early, I want to go right over to Roblox and see if we can't pick up some bids, man. I like this name. I don't know. I think Roblox is a decent name here. It's been hit a lot. It's one of those Aunt Kathy names. And let's just see what happens with Roblox moving forward.
Yeah, and that pick's starting to come down. We'll go with, I don't know. I hit that one because I'm on this page, and I still feel like that skyline should have a better CN tower because we are in Toronto. But like the PIK did another rollover, but let's remember a couple of things here, right? Like we've shorted it 3 separate times, right? It started to work and then failed, and then this time it's actually the second time it just failed right away, and the third time we've got it, but it's still finding buyers at that 5-quarter mark. That there's buyers down at that range. And it also happens to be that 10% move from 580 when it rolled over. So it's getting from that 80 mark, goes down that 10%, and then the buyers jump in. So my guess is even if it takes out this level at 530, there's likely to be some buy support 480 to 5 even. Someone jumps in the same range. So I'm just going to get out. If it makes another leg down, I'm going to get out in front of 5, anticipating that. Want to make sure we're banking profit. Part of it, we also are running out of time on the day. I'm seeing people say Tesla coming down pretty hard. Yeah, look, Tesla's still up 3%. I know, the market's struggling to maybe reclaim the high or break out to new highs. That's both the S&P and the NASDAQ. But ultimately, it's about $10 from here. I thought 885 would be the level, so there's not much of a trade for me. At this point, I want to see 850 hold. It's a good day for Tesla, no matter what happens here at this point of the day. And just going back to Longeveron, because, PIK gave that opportunity for me to be able to get back into it pretty easily. Longeveron, when it stopped me out, I remember I was sort of saying that there was a bit of a spread on Longeveron, like 5-7 cents. It's a 7-cent spread right now with 2 million in volume. PIK has 110 million in volume, and that's the difference. Like when PIK would break out the top and do a failed break, you could just get back into shares because it was liquidity as crazy as it's been. Longeveron, quite frankly, I couldn't get back in. When it retook 8 even, it was just right back down into 780. It was hard to get any shares there. And it's been pretty illiquid, so I'm not going to touch it, but it's starting to fall here. But you have to be able to execute trades, not just see the pattern, right? And it was troublesome to be able to do that on Longeveron. It's easier to get wicked out and then not be able to get back with the trade when there's a 7-cent spread at times on an $8 stock, which is what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, what's up? Anyone's Oculus Quest not connecting with friends online? I don't know. My kids love their Oculus Quest. All right, the Curtis Group Design, what's up? Yeah, we'll look at QSI here. This is a biotech name, so a big move up today, 23.3%. I just shouted out to Brendan if there was anything on this name. It's not a huge volume day, I don't think, for them. Although looking at the average volume, 1.2 million, so 1.8 on an up $23 million. A 23% day doesn't seem to be too crazy. But again, these are the kind of names that I like. When you make moves like this, let's just see the daily chart here. And again, we'll have to find out what it is. A biotech name could have got, I don't think this was like an approval or anything. It doesn't seem like it's up that much, but maybe some trials, something like that happening with QSI, Quantum Psi. But this is a nice bottom. It's 9% short. I like it. It makes some sense down here. When you're looking at it technically, it's fallen from the 7 high, I guess 8 high, chopped in half. And again, like for me, this is not my style of trading, but like I'd rather find bases on a little bit higher quality names and names that, quite frankly, you know, I want to hold, because on the show, like, I don't have enough time to get in and out of accounts because we're sitting here trading. I'd just rather do it on the show. But this level, if you take the long here, you're crossing the 50 period. That's nice. The last time we did that to the upside was 750. It went to 850. So why can't this name get back to 650? So I don't know. It's not a horrible name. It's QSI. And there we go. We will flush our position down the toilet. How did we just get on Facebook? Did it actually go through 60 there? I don't know. I wasn't, I guess it did. It touched the high, we got out. So it's right there right now anyways. That's the hit for us. But again, it's not much of a hit. We took it there. It's 25 out at 60. So it's 25 cents or so, 35 cents to the upside. But it's a hit. And yeah, it looks like Facebook wanted to go upside after all.
And the pick eventually comes downside, so I just got it out. Like I said, it might go to that 480 to 5 even area, but the way it's been bought at each of these levels, 10% from consolidation, I'm just going to get out of the trade. We're going to throw you over to Brendan. Just two left for me here, Mullen and CVX.
QSI, guys, is, if I'm not mistaken, is an ARC name as well. They're doing some work in protein sequencing. Apparently, there was a white paper out today on positive results along those lines. So I'm not 100% familiar with that topic, but positive it would seem anyways. Quickly, while I have you, NXTP, there's a metaverse event or metaverse launch event happening for this company. I believe it starts right at 4 o'clock. So heads up on NXTP as well.
Ooh, so yeah, darn it. I wish I would have known that because maybe, you know, like again, if they're doing something with the metaverse, there is a company literally called Meta that I was shorting into that. So yeah, maybe NXPI is coming up with something today that you know, makes the metaverse more of a, you know, realistic experience. I don't know what that's all about, but that would make sense. And Facebook is super strong. Look, I'm long this name in my own account, so I'm super happy. But today, just because of yesterday, I mean, my trades, I don't know why they're not here from yesterday, but we absolutely destroyed. We had this long, like we had the long twice, man. We took about $11 out of Facebook yesterday. So, you know, we could take a 25-cent hit, 35-cent hit there. New position though, into the high of the day. The NASDAQ is running. Maybe we take out the high. I'm just going to go short NEO into this 1875. Again, I like 75s. I like these kind of average prices. It doesn't look like anything on the daily. On the 20-minute, though, you have 19 as the high. I don't know if it's going to get back to there. That's yesterday. A monster run into the afternoon that stopped at 19.20. So let's see. We're short right now. We're going to average it in one more time. This could be, again, maybe we lose on this, but there's our short. We got filled there at 69 or 68, sorry. So we got 68, so bring us an average price to 66. Like, look, if it retraces back to the 50 period, that's 60. And then I think that, you know, we'll look at 50. So if we could take a piece out here at the 50 period for a small little win, and then maybe it falls back down. But remember, this is the problem with trading the afternoon, and this is what I found, you know, for sure, is that some of these moves, you got to give them time. And quite frankly, there's not enough time. So it's like, if it moves, great. Like, what would be the reason for NEO to move down here like 2% or something to get back to VWAP back down to 18? Like, I mean, unless the market absolutely collapses and I'm just the right way, then what you're kind of doing is looking for names that you believe are weak. I mean, NEO's negative, the market's positive. So I'm going to look at that and try to take advantage of that. And if it takes out 75, it takes out 75. Like, there's nothing else to do. I think this is well worth putting my money into this right now. So we're going to watch out for NEO here, taking out the high of the day at 1875.
Yeah, and with, like Sean said, with the clock running out, I wanted the next out on Mullen to be 55. Now it's going to be in front of 50s because I have to. And Yuri asked a good question. He's like, oh, would you hold on to your Mullen if you could? And the long at this price for a swing, he meant. Long at this price, no, because I'm long at 236 off of VWAP bounce. Like, there's a huge difference, and you're pointing out that he has a 172 long, so probably grabbing it, when it broke out, or at least was breaking out in the afternoon yesterday, or maybe in the morning. Look, if you've got that long off that 150 level, yeah, you've taken some profit here, you're in the money 40%, just actually a little bit more than that, and you're letting some of that dice roll. Risk to reward, that makes sense to you. But holding the 236 when support's either 2 or that 150, really it's that 150, no, I don't really love it, and I would never do it at that kind of a price. Now, maybe if you had it on the dip at $2, that's not as bad, because you got to think about like what that next, wrong direction. You got to think about what that next level up is going to be for Mullen. And truthfully, the 275 we got to, that 270, 275 kind of area, that was the last little chop where you had that breakdown of like 10, 15 days in a row. That to about $3.80, $4, like that's the range that I sort of think it's most likely to get to next unless something crazy happens. If it gets through there, all bets are off. Right? If it gets through $4 a stock, who knows what can happen. But I kind of feel like that's what you're looking for. And that's about $1.50 worth of upside, which is much different when you're risking 75 to 80 cents on the swing as opposed to risking 25, 30 cents, which makes a ton of sense. Because ultimately, on these types of plays, often when the rug gets pulled, you want to make sure you've got a really good price. If you bought near the top, and there's a rug pull, you almost never can make that up. Like, you have to hit so many winners. So I don't love it for a swing at the price I got, but I'm just day trading here.
Yeah, we're just day traders here. That's what I just said in the chat, just sort of half jokingly, and it was like someone said we need like more researchers to catch all these notes, and it's like, look, man, as day traders, it's like, we always want as much information as we possibly can get, but like, come on, you can't catch everything, and we try to do all that here, and it's just like, wow, sometimes these markets move and they go, and it's like, whatever. And it was in response to the Facebook versus NXPI news there. And yeah, I don't know if that would have been, a positive catalyst, negative, or whatever. We're just trading the price action here in the afternoon, and that's something that like we would have caught obviously in the morning and stuff like that, but it's just there's a lot of work to be done, on the show. So that's that. You know what? We talked about green stocks there, and we kind of joked about that. But look at Canopy today, straight to the upside. It's a nice little 6% move. I don't know what started this, but it just took off out of the gate today. So a nice little move upside for CGC. I mean, obviously, you've heard my disdain for this stock over and over again. I'm a shareholder, so I have the right to be upset about what's been happening in the marijuana space, but I mean, I don't think this has been a bad run to the upside. You had that bottom over the last couple of days of $5 or $6, and again, like I think if you're a recent investor and you're kind of just trading, make your profits, trying to swing trade, this is not a horrible return right here for Canopy. So you may want to look at doing some shopping and selling a little bit of this and maybe buying something a little more high quality. But Canopy, I mean, if I show you the daily chart, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Just straight down, like you now get 3 days up move. I don't remember the last time I saw that. It was right here actually, so now I remember. But yeah, that's a nice move off those bottoms. I'm not sure where this goes until we get federal approval there on the U.S. side. So Canopy for me is a sell. And if you've bought anything off the bottom, I don't even know if you want to wait for 750, man. This 670 is a decent price. You may want to get out of some of this. So
look, I know a lot of people have talked about Hour Loop. I've traded the stock before. We've actually, I know Brendan brought this to us. It actually was on our watch list a little while back. So it's not something we're entirely unfamiliar with. However, when trading PIC, it was Longeveron. I didn't touch PIC. Until I was out of Longeveron, I went over to PIK. When these sort of lower float type names start to go and you want to make trades on them, I'm not trading 2 or 3 at the same time. Like you'll see, like the hands are on the keys because we're executing manually, and you pick these one at a time because they're just too volatile. You don't want to mess it up. You don't want to miss a stop. You don't want to make a keystroke error. Those things you can't. It's not like if you make a keystroke on like AMD or something. Oh, like it's a 2-cent spread doing 100 million shares. There's no problem. Just get right back into it or fix it. There's plenty of liquidity. On these names, we want to go one at a time. Now, Hour went right to $5 and pulled back. So I feel like that was a little bit more. I don't want to say obvious is not the right word, but be very careful and wary of breakouts like that. Like you have this volume here at 485 double top, and it does nothing all afternoon. So okay, that's fine. You might be thinking about a breakout, but it's a lot easier to take that off of $4 support down here, throwing a Hail Mary, than taking a break. I would never take a 485 break here, because you have overhead resistance at $5. Like, it's just such an obvious level. Then you go back on the daily, and it doesn't look any better on the daily chart. Why? Because you just had a failure a couple of days ago at $5. So be careful. Always zoom out and see, does this make sense? And that's why you might have seen that reversal at 5 even. If I had seen it first, maybe I would have traded that and not PIK, which, by the way, for now, it looks like getting out in front of that 5 area makes some sense. Only 2.5 minutes to go to imbalances. It looks like Mullen might not be able to make it. I just had to take some more shares out at 45. I'm not reloading. It's too late in the day for that. And it's the same thing with CVX. I'm not reloading this name either. It doesn't feel like it wants to go any further than that 160.40. I am bidding in front of 160. And because I have taken most of it out, I'm willing to hold this one a little bit longer, but I'm going to move my stop from that 161 into the recent high at 160.80. So this one can't be a loser. We're running out of time for it to get down to VWAP.
So it looks like NIO's going to go. I mean, it just took out the day's high, but look at the futures, man. We are running. I'd like to hold this into the imbalances, but I'm not going to be able to. If it prints 77, we're going to get out of this trade, and it just doesn't want to go back down. So right now, NIO in trouble here as the imbalances are looming with only a minute and a half to go. The early indication is 1.4 billion to the sell side, but that doesn't look like that's happening at all. And by the way, like, look at Facebook. The biggest move of the day just happened. Like, this is just ripping right up there ever since I mean, not ever since, but takes out the day's high there and then just goes up a straight dollar. Like, what am I talking about? $1.50 up to 208 right now. Obviously, that NXPI news must be getting spread around now.
Yeah.
Nice little move to the upside. We're going to see with only a minute left, the imbalances are going to be coming through. So let's take a quick look and just to show you guys what we're expecting to happen. Hold on a second. If I move this over, I just want to be able to see everything here. So we'll watch the markets now and watch the names. So this will adjust. It'll come out and we'll see what's going to happen now. These are not real right here. Let's just wait. Coming out in now in 30 seconds, we'll get a nice little update. I almost shorted Facebook there at 208, but I was like, do I really want to? Could have made everything back right there on that short because now it's right in the money, 30 cents. But we'll wait to see with only 20 seconds left. And all we're looking for now is those lucky charms. Cheers to everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Let's see if we get a little lucky charm bid here out of the market and send some of these names through the moon, or will we retrace back down? Our NIO is coming back in right now, so that's another name that we can look at with only now 3 seconds to go before these imbalances come out. Let's just take a quick look to see where we go from here. And here they are. It's Zynga's always on there. It's Twitter with a sell. It's Uber with a buy. It's Apple with a sell here. And we'll watch out to see what Apple's doing on the 1 minute. You can see the NASDAQ is pulling back in. It looks like this imbalance is well to the downside here as Apple just right now goes 160 down to 160.50 down to 160 and change as that's making a move down into the downside here. Here are the market on close imbalances for you one more time. Apple softy with the sell. Probably Facebook's on here somewhere. I don't see it. I should call it Meta maybe. And other than that, man, a bunch of randos. Tomorrow is the rebalance for the MSCI. So there could be some news about that as well. Some of these names
too. It's the third Friday.
That's tomorrow.
Wait a minute,
right?
it's March. It's quad. What am I talking
Yeah. It's a big one.
It's quad witching.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big one tomorrow. So we'll see what happens there. Down to the downside. Cisco also a sell. And that's the imbalances. Doesn't look like much. Although Uber's caught a nice little bid here. But that's only up 0.69. Like for a growth kind of name, maybe it's not a growth name anymore.
Yeah.
Uber up only 0.79. That's danger zone.
I gotta rethink that one because if there's one thing, it's been trash, right? Like Uber, it just doesn't rally the way that some of these other growth names are going when you get these relief rallies. And that's something that you got to be a little bit worried about. Like, still like the business overall, but it's not necessarily about liking the business and thinking it'll be around. It's about valuing the company, and maybe it just needs to go further. I'm out of Mullen, so it will be a good one. We'll hit the Brennan goat. Why? Because he's the one that poured our beverages here, so we have to at least give him some credit. But we wanted the VWAP bounce. It took out VWAP here, and then once it reclaimed that 235, that's when I got in. Sometimes you get in on the way down. It's just easier a lot of times to wait for it to bounce and then get to the upside. But we only have 8 minutes to go, and that means got to get out. Maybe it doesn't go to maybe it goes to 270, but it'll do so without me. Just Chevron is in, and I'm going to start tightening the stop. I still feel like with the market trying to test those highs, it's been relatively weak. I think oil is one of the names where profit taking makes a little bit of sense. I don't see it on the imbalance locator, but it is starting to slide since imbalances came at 350. So I'm going to give it a chance to get down to that 160 and just continue to trail it. So my trail's at 160.80. In the next by 355, I'll probably move it down to 60s. If we break that recent support at 160.35, I'll move it down to 50 and then try to hold it as close as I can to the close and see how much we can get out of Chevron.
So cheers, salute. We're all out of our beers today. Good trading today, obviously. So there it is right there. And the Guinness is what we were hitting up. Thanks to Brendo for making that run there during the afternoon. It's been a fun day for us for sure. We put this on now as we're getting closer to the close, so I don't have to worry about it on my head there. So fun times going. We did take a little...
That thing is too small.
Yeah, this is... no, yeah, it doesn't... No, it's fine. It's just, it's awkward. Like, it's dangling. Yeah, I think it's fine. Like, if you're going to a bar or something, I think it's fine. But just on the show, it's a little awkward, that's all. But, okay, so we got out some at 72 there for, what are we short, 60, 67. So a little 5-cent hit. We only got out of a quarter of it. I don't know. I mean, it looks like we're going to take out that 77. That's where we'll get out. But maybe if it falls back down in, you can see the futures are coming back in. So I don't know. Does NEO give us that miracle out down here? We'll see if it does. Then we can be flat on that one. But yeah, man, cheers to the first quarter. That's for sure. It's been a good one, I think. I mean, I think it could always be better when you're looking at what the NASDAQ's done in the last couple of days. It's been a big relief rally for sure. I just hope it can continue into, second, third, fourth quarters of this year and give us a positive return on the S&P. We'll see if that's going to be even possible this year. CEI is starting to ramp up again. It did make that big move up to $2 just recently. It's bouncing. The reason why I'm saying this is it just bounced off the 50 period, which is 68 cents. So, someone's buying it down here. And if you zoom back in even closer, the volume, it's been like 4, 5, 6 red days in a row here on the candles. This is a daily chart. And now you're just going to see a couple relief days there. Yesterday was obviously a monster day in the market. And now you're seeing another bump up for CEI, up another 10% today. So maybe if this one takes out the 200 period, we hit $1 and then we go high side. So I'm going to watch out for this name, man. Breaking through $1, I think, is exciting on CEI. And it may even happen tomorrow. So CEI might be worth a little bit of a swing play here. And again, it's not something that I would do. But if you're looking at it, it's starting to get green. Maybe we bump up tomorrow on CEI, Brendo.
Right, there's a huge volume candle about to be printed here on the overall market, guys. Kind of laughing in the face of a 3 billion sell side imbalance, so that's large. GME, I was watching here overall on the earnings board tonight, but no move at all. 87 holding for GameStop. But here we go. Here's what's coming up tonight for earnings and before the open tomorrow.
I mean, look, obviously GameStop, let's be real. It's a big one. I missed this because I was off. I was up north with the in-laws, and Arun and Sean, you guys were trading Astra when they had their successful launch. Right, on Monday. And of course, we were trading live when Astra had the failed one. So good to see that they got the launch successfully. They'll be reporting tomorrow. Now, obviously, the only thing that can be on the books is the cost of the failure they had before. And FedEx, certainly worth watching. I want to clarify something here because it was a question that I got to get to before I talk about Chevron. I think it was Melissa Pearl was asking about I think it was PIK, right? So as a day trader, I'm out of it. But if you look at it, it's up 160%, right? And I was sort of saying, it feels like it was strong enough to hold this 480 to 5. Every time it would drop 10%, resisting a halt, there was somebody buying it back up. So there's clearly still people buying the name. Now, personally, I would never chase anything that's made a move like this. And I do feel like when you've gone this far, it's a different litmus than what's going on in Mullen, let's just say, where you've got resistance support levels that are pretty tight to where you've probably bought it. If you're deep in the money, though, what are we talking about here? If you have this from yesterday, at any point in the lower consolidation here, and you've taken any profit out, there's nothing wrong with letting it run. It'd be very difficult for them to pull the rug on you any further than 3 to 325. So if you've got prices anywhere, forget about $2. I should really be saying 3 to 350. That's more reasonable. If you have longs in that range and rolling the dice in some of it to get a bigger move to see if it extends day 2, 3, 4, 5, why not? But if you're talking about buying it up here and holding, that's a different story. right? Like the risk to reward of holding like a 550 long or a 6 long, even like a 520 long is very different than when you're rolling it in the money on those dips. And that's why most people look to buy dips on these plays as opposed to taking out the top. So if you've got a good long, I forget who was in the chat, and kudos, I think it was Dominic was saying in there, yeah, like if you've got a good price, he's got a 190, then hang on. Like you can let it ride at that point. As a day trade, I'm just telling you that there were sort of signs that it was going to make a bit of a fall. That's all. It's still up 170% on the day, and it is a day one move.
All right, I wanted to look here because if you remember yesterday, Twitter was on the imbalance and it held, I think. So I was going to talk about GameStop, but I feel like GameStop could miss and still go up 30% tomorrow. So kind of like holding out for that. Let me just check out what this imbalance is saying right now. Twitter's still a big sell again. You could see yesterday into the close. I don't know, I'm not sure where the print was, but here's a 35.70. It printed all the way down 35.36 or something like that. So we could sit here and watch to see maybe Twitter does not flip, and then you could take the short for this, but I don't know. It's going to be one of those plays. We're going to watch it. It's still here. There's still 2 minutes left. So Twitter coming in now. I think it might be a little worth it here. Let's just take a little bit of a short into this trade, and then if it comes out a sell, well, it already is a sell. But if it stays a sell, then we may be able to have this. There we go. Now we're short. It's still a sell. So why not? Let's put our market on close order. Oops, that's not my market on close order. Okay, this might be a problem.
I'm looking mine up again.
I got to go find.
You know what? I'm not gonna bother because I just realized like I changed one of my market on close. Right, I'm not even gonna try to trade it. But what you said about GameStop, how they could miss and it could still run, you better believe it. Like that 90 level is gonna stick out like a sore thumb. Earlier on, we were sort of talking about if it ever took out that 77.5 bottom on the daily chart, how crazy that would be if it could get through. But you look at how far this has come down. This is the reason why. Like the last time we were below that price, the bottom and support was at 40 to 50 bucks. So GameStop could have a monstrous range, but 90 break is the lower hanging fruit. It's going to be right there. I don't think there's a chance to trade it because if it goes up, it's probably already broken it by the time we sit down tomorrow morning. But you never know. You got to be prepared. You guys get a treat today. I know what's coming for the bell. You guys don't just yet. Sometimes we try to choose. It's like, do we want to have Tony? Do we want to have Miss Fee? But the real thing that we should be doing is give the viewers what they want, which is just have both you guys. And why are we on me right now? Let's just put it on the two of them.
Let's go Twitter, by the way. Prad's excited about Twitter because me and your boy have Twitter right now. To the downside as Twitter just continues to go downside.
It's free money.
But yeah, here goes the short. So we are now in the money 20 cents on this Twitter trade. I don't know if it's going to flip or not, but we only have 10 seconds left. Prad, I've got that. I'm in this trade, bro. Okay, we're almost done here. Let's go. This is a 40-cent win right now on Twitter, but it just did flip right there, I think. We'll wait to see where it goes. With only
2 and 1, ring it. It paired off.
Yeah. Yo, don't battle Valeria, bro.
He's trying to get the last word in there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dead man walking, Tony there, trying to battle Valeria. We're going to see. I don't know where the print's going to come off at. I don't think it's... Did it come yet? I didn't get it, so... No, not yet. Someone hit it that much at the end of the day. It must have came already. I don't know if it did, but there's Twitter. You could see on the move down. I didn't get any out, but I should have. No, I don't know.
It hasn't printed, man.
Yeah, all the way down to 37.20 right there. You saw the short. We have the short on. I don't know where it's going to print. I just hope it doesn't print higher than where we're in right now. We hit the Twitter. It's still a sell. It's paired off 5 million shares, but Twitter's still a sell. We're going to wait for the print to see when it comes through here. But a big day for us. I want to give a big thank you to everybody. We're just going to wait. You'll see. I'll tell you where Twitter prints. We're in the short right now. Did you take any out, Brad? No, yeah, we're still in it. So, okay, we're still in this trade. Let's see where it prints. But a big thank you to Randy, to Mark, to Lucas. It was a really fun day today. And big thanks to Brendan for hooking it up. Thank you to Ms. V. She wore the green. And that obviously, yeah, there you go. Yeah, dirt off the shoulders there for sure. And a big shout out to Prad, who was throwing down there. Let's hope that we can get it. Sorry we hurt your feelings there about the pitcher. But hopefully we've made up for that one. And just a big...
He was live. What are we supposed to do?
He was joking. Yeah, anyways, a big, huge day today. I'm still waiting for this Twitter to print, so I don't know where it's going to go.
One last thank you. I didn't get a chance to say this on the show. I want to thank Victor, the newest trainee on the floor. He came in to sign the contracts, but he's going to be starting, I think, end of the month. Guess what? He came with a box of a dozen Tim Hortons donuts, and he had an apple fritter in there for me because he watched the show and knows that I love him. So he's gone today, but he'll be back. You'll see some new faces on the floor. Victor is going to be the newest one. Thank you, Victor. I don't know if you're watching, but we still need to go to Brendan, apparently, see how the market finished.
Oh, we don't need to, but we could.
Up.
Let's do it.
Lucas is directing.
Good.
Here we go. This is the way we ended, guys. 1.28 there for the S&P, 1% for the Dow, 1.25 for the NASDAQ. Look at crude oil. Quietly 9% to the upside. Just kept drifting to the upside even after 2:30 today, guys.
Quietly 9%.
What
a move.
Did GameStop just move there?
No, I'm watching GameStop.
Someone said GameStop is gone. You got me there. It didn't move at all.
No, someone might have fat fingered something a little bit early, but there's nothing out yet.
All right, Twitter just hit. Nice
30.
trade for Twitter right there. It printed 29s. So right there to end the day, a nice little win there on Twitter. Can't get much better than that. Really happy with that print. So, yeah, we'll spin the one last time for the Twitter trade at the end of the day. Good trade there. Happy we got that. We'll be looking at those more and more. There's trades tomorrow. Tomorrow's the big imbalance day. So, big shout out for imbalance day tomorrow on quad witching. Thanks to Maggie again today. She hooked us up with the bling. So we thank you for that. And it's been such a good day. Thank you to Liz for the posts for St. Patrick's Day as well. Those are some good posts out there. But join us for the trade of the day happening. Mullen, I think it was.
Mullen.
So you want to see how Neil traded a little bit of Mullen there before the after show, or the afternoon show. Look, it's been a great day. Thank you for joining us. We're back tomorrow. It's going to be a bigger and better show. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. And we'll see you tomorrow at 8:30. Ciao, guys.
Bye, guys.